squad, I'm gonna get mine. Go through the crowd, if you can't do the time, don't tell me how you're off and down. When you're smiling in my face, but you play me like a clown, it's your fool, bitch. So just step back. I'm mad that when I come down straight, I thought you were at my piece, but you play me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. I'm back on the scene, it's time to get mean. I'm a lean revolution machine. For what people stay, they sway. For today is good as any day. Y'all feel slightly this, let's resist. Raise your fist and pump like this. Promises all the time. Don't cross the line, but you know it's mine. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with?
Mike's trying to get the camera set up for our shot. I see Mike's on the line here. I'm gonna bring Mike in. Mike Crawford.
What's up, Lefty?
Good afternoon or good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear our theme song?
I can hear it.
Okay, good. I never
You
know.
see me bouncing?
We're trying to make a camera here so we can get our shot for our music video.
Nice.
Here, let's see if we can see this. Yeah, this is Bong Holio at work. We're trying to make a mobile camera to get our shot here for our music video. Oh, there we go. I think that'll do it. Yeah, put it down in front here and see if that's our shot.
Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with?
Just angle it up.
Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? 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 Who you wanna roll with?
Right, it's Thursday night. Bong Holio's in the house. Mike Crawford's in the house. And what is going on here? What is happening? What are you doing? I feel like you're operating on me. I feel like a POV. I feel like this is a POV situation. What? Like, whoa. How's that? Oh, almost. Almost. You know what? What? What's that? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. What'd you say? I got it spun, so I don't think I can prop it up like it. Yeah. Well, we could just get the shot.
That's it.
How's that
That's
look?
it.
That's it. That's it. Now can we pull it down Avenue C and see how that looks? Oh, this might work. Oh, see, we're losing Bong Holio in that shot though. See what happens? We're gonna have to get two shots, man. That's not gonna. Yeah, it's not gonna work because we're losing we're losing you, or we're losing Bong Holio on the street. Like, watch. It's a great shot. See, we're getting. Look what you're getting. Look, see, you're losing it. We're losing the whole street. Yeah. So we'll just have to adjust it so that we see Bong Holio, and maybe you'll have to crouch down instead of sitting. We'll have to put you through some more. We'll have to put Mikey through some more tests in the bong costume. Can you squat or kneel in the bong? We haven't tried that yet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, Bong Holio will attempt to squat or kneel for our music video.
Jeez, if I was a girl squatting, I get millions of TikTok views.
Oh my god. Oh man, this is what we're doing here today, Mike. This is crazy.
I'm trying to figure it out. Like, crazy the setup you have. I've never seen anything like it. cars.
There we go. Yeah, it's like Mr. Rogers on weed.
Yeah, you got a Humvee over there, yellow Humvee.
Here we go. Let's go. Okay. Well, so yeah, let's try the crouch, and I'll have to do the shot. I'll have to do the pulling of the. Oh boy, we need another people here.
People, we need a crew.
We need a crew of people to do this. So it's just me and Bong Holio are going to do this. So you're gonna have to. So you'll have to kneel. All right. So here we go. This is the shot. All right. Hold on. Let me see the shot. We're using this camera.
It's not important that my bowl is in the shot. Anyway.
No. We want to see your face and pretty
it's
much.
just-
Yeah. So if we do this,
Should I move the microphone so the microphone's not blocking my face?
you need to have the mic in your face a
I
little
know.
bit.
Maybe I'll have it on this. Maybe here.
So here's what we want. We want Bong Holio in the shot, in the ambulance
That's
shot.
much better.
We want that.
Well, we'll get it on there.
There we oh God, I can't get it. See, I'm having a problem here.
Pull the battery out. Now, how about there?
Okay, so that's how so you have to crouch down at that point.
I'm fine.
You can crouch down?
Yep.
Hold on. Speak it to the mic. I can't hear you.
I think I can crouch down. I mean, I'm not wearing it.
Move the mic down. Like tilt it so yeah, there you go. So we'll have to
headphones.
All right, so you have to put the headphones in the bong. Oh my God. Mike, you have no idea what we go through here.
A lot of work.
It's a,
Okay, now I can hear myself.
oh my goodness. All right. Mike, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
All right, let's try getting the bong.
Okay,
And let's get our. We're just gonna do one shot right now, because we got Mike on the line. We don't want to. We were supposed to have an opening. We screwed up our opening because we're live. This is what we do live. We like live radio. We like live podcasting because you get to see us, scramble, and I like that. We actually have serious business to talk about with Mike here. There was a death up in Maine, and we need to talk about this. This story is very upsetting, and I believe it could have been prevented, which is more tragic. Ay. Yeah, Holyoke, Massachusetts. I was reading this story before. Mike broke this story, and it went. I think Forbes actually covered it too. So
Yeah, it was everywhere. High Times, Forbes, Leafly, Benzinga.
Benzinga.
I mean, yeah, The Patch locally,
Right on.
Commonwealth Magazine, Mass Live. I'm missing a lot of them. There were so many of them. Yeah, I think that the death definitely could have been prevented.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, when we first broke this like 10, 11 days ago, and it was, I don't know, I felt like the jury was out. I didn't really know if we should be casting so much blame on True Leaf. My opinion has totally changed at this point. I think that I want to see the Cannabis Control Commission shut them down. I want to see their license taken away.
Yeah, I see they're not unionized.
Yeah, they need to be unionized. I think there's probably some union activity happening right now as we speak. I know there is, but nothing official. But employees are. I think employees went from probably not that not really caring to being really wanting to join a union at this point.
All right, hold on, Mike. I'm gonna try to get my shot here.
All right.
We're just gonna one pass here. Let's see if we can get it. Let's get on the first try. You ready, Mikey?
I'm ready.
Oh boy. I don't like how it stops. I'm gonna do it again because I'm stopping. I don't want to. I'm not in the right spot here. Hold on. I'm gonna lose my mic. Hold on. Totally. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. You have no idea. I can't believe this. Hold on. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, no headphones. Oh my goodness. Bongolio in the house. I love it. All right, let's.
Bongolio on the floor.
Bongolio's on,
Yeah,
Bongolio was on the
he's actually
floor.
kneeling. Are you okay to kneel like that? Yeah.
I'm gonna have to be.
Oh my God. All right, let's try this again. Hold on. Let me set this thing up. Oh God. All right, last time. Last shot. Let's make this a good one. I'll try to be smooth when I pull it. I'm gonna try to be smooth when I pull it. And no jokes about that either. Okay, ready? Here we go.
You're looking good.
What I don't like is the little bump here. You can always edit this. You can always do an edit.
Yeah. Plus, you can always slow the speed down.
Smile. Look at the camera and smile. Look at the camera. You can always edit that. All right, good enough. All right, there you go. There's our opening scene. Yay! Yay! Okay, you gonna wear that for the rest of the show, like a nut job?
No.
Because I'll put my mask on. If you're gonna be nutty, I'll be nutty with you.
Put your mask on, and I'll keep it on for a
Give
bit.
me a
I'll
mask.
keep it
Hand me
on.
my mask. I'll be. I don't know if it's appropriate. We have a serious story to talk about. So let's take a. Let's not do it yet. Let's do it again. Let's do our shots again.
Okay,
later.
so I'm taking this
We
off,
have a
and we'll
serious
come
story
back
to talk
this.
about.
Okay,
Let's come back to this.
All right.
Revisit because I want to talk about this story, and I can't be serious if I have if I'm looking at an 8-foot purple bong.
No, I can't either.
No, because there was actually a death of a worker at a cannabis facility, and that's the first one I've ever heard of. And I've heard of a lot of stuff, and I've never heard of this before. She apparently died from inhalation of keef, not an overdose of keef, but an inhalation and like suffocation from keef. Is that right, Mike?
That's correct. And this is something that we predicted. This is something that if you listen back to our shows, and it wasn't us, it was all of the employees that we've been speaking to in these big cannabis firms for like the last 5 years. They've been telling us about COPD that they get. These are young people, early to mid 20s. Lorna was 27 years old, never had asthma until she started working at True Leaf.
Oh.
This wasn't the first time she collapsed and was taken. But from what I'm hearing, I'm gonna look further into this. But my source tells me that this was the second ambulance ride that she took due to asthma from this place. And this is like standard at these places. We talked to the employees, and we've been saying this for years now, and no one paid attention. No one cared. The media didn't care. The politicians didn't care. And I am so pissed because now I'm talking to someone's stepdad, someone that I would have loved to have known, and now I know her stepdad. And it's just this has got to stop. It's got to change. Big cannabis indoors is a big risk. They talk about all the safety rules for plastic and childproof packages and all the stuff that doesn't matter. What matters is protecting workers at these places, and they don't give a shit. So I'd say right now, my feeling is like pull True Leaf's license. They need to be suspended immediately. They need to prove that they should be even qualified to open back up in Massachusetts. That's the way I feel. I want to see the Cannabis Control Commission shut them down. I think a lot of people want that. And I suggest that people call the Cannabis Control Commission, call your elected officials and ask them to do something. And not just for this one case, because this is happening everywhere. People are being subjected to the worst conditions without protection, without management that gives a shit, with union busting companies. Lorna had complained that we've had so many statements now from the employees who were there. That's what I didn't have 10 days ago when we first broke this. That's why I wasn't sure how much culpability True Leaf has in this. True Leaf, I want them shut down at this point from all that I know. And I'm pissed. I'm pissed at the Boston Globe. I'm pissed at the Cannabis Control Commission. They didn't do anything. They had this whole thing going back to New England Treatment Access. They had it there. We proved it over and over and over again. And none of them did shit about it. So yeah, I'm pissed. I am pissed. I really am. And some people are saying, "Oh, you're getting too nasty against the Globe or whatever." But they had the opportunity, and they didn't do anything. And they still have it. They haven't even. Benzinga has put out 2 stories. One of them really good quality. Boston Globe still hasn't covered it. They haven't even sent out a friggin' tweet.
Why? Why do you think?
That's tough for me to say because I don't know. I'm going to speculate. I'm going to speculate and say that it's because they don't give a shit about patients. I'm going to say they're Chardonnay drinkers. I'm going to say some of it is probably a personal beef with me even. Which, you know, people are saying I'm getting too personal at the Globe. It's like, you know, I don't give a shit about the Globe. I would forgive them in a second if they actually focused on patients and employees. If they did their job, I don't care. It's not personal for me. This is about actions. And the Cannabis Control Commission puts out this statement saying that they take it, you know, huge responsibility and they concern and they care about the employees working at these places. That's a lie. Actions. They had a mold outbreak at this other place that still has mold. I'm talking to employees, Holistic Industries. They know there's mold there. The Cannabis Control Commission comes in. I think I was on your show talking about this.
Yes, I remember.
The Cannabis Control Commission comes in and does a virtual inspection because it's too dangerous to go in there. They don't want to send their cannabis control inspectors in there because it's too dangerous to inspect. But guess what? It's not too dangerous for the $15 an hour worker that works there with little protection, little education, little information. Most of these workers are too dumb to even know to put on a mask or even to demand one because they haven't even been informed of the dangers that they're facing on this job workplace. So we need a lot of change. And I'm sick of the Cannabis Control Commission. This is on you. You have blood on your hands. Actions speak louder than words. I'm pissed. I'm not going to take it anymore. This is a war.
You know, up until the 60s and 70s, firefighters didn't have respirators. They used to go into a firefight with basically a towel over their face, a wet towel over their face. And that's how they would fight fires. And eventually the industry evolved to where they have, you know, huge tanks now. They have respirators. They have helmets. And I think the cannabis industry really needs to take a look at this and figure out. I didn't know she had asthma from this job. She caught asthma from this job. That's shocking to me. That's shocking
to me. It's not shocking to me. Ed.
Killed her.
I spoke to over 20 or 30 employees at New England Treatment Access. They said that this is common. That basically every time someone new comes into the cultivation room or the trim room, that they have to school them. They have to say, you know, you might want to try sticking up paper towels up your nose. You might want to get on these asthma medications over the counter. They're all on them. You might want to go to a doctor. They're all on them.
What? I am shocked.
This is shocking.
Yeah.
And Mike, you've talked to a lot of the workers. You talked to the family. Like, what kind of stories are you hearing?
I'm hearing the worst stuff. Like, I'm hearing that the supervisor that night she had an issue and she wasn't being able to breathe right, and he wouldn't give up on her. You know, she went back in and she died. She collapsed.
What the hell is a virtual inspection?
A virtual inspection, exactly. What the hell is that?
What is that?
What is that? That's not giving a shit about the people who have to go in there and risk their lives while you're have a state pension and you're too afraid to go in there. But then you say it's okay that that everyone else, you're supposed to protect workers. This is like, I feel like it's criminal negligence at this point. The Cannabis Control Commission. I want to see people in jail.
Well,
like,
it's negligent to use it's negligent to investigation, virtual inspection or whatever. That's negligent in itself, just to call that an inspection.
How's that an inspection?
It's just you're communicating virtually. It's communications.
They took a camera and they said, "Show us the mold." Oh, we don't see any mold
on camera.
So they did. They took a camera and they did it like on a Zoom or something. I mean,
that's ridiculous.
And you ask the employees, they tell you like, these investigators are faking it. And they go in, they don't give a shit. They're not actually doing an investigation. They're just trying to check a box.
Yeah, well, that's what it sounds like.
It's been cover-up mode. It's been cover up in the media and big Boston media. And this is what this story drives home. The story broke in Worcester. The story broke in Springfield. The story broke nationally. Boston media still hasn't covered it. I mean, this is like, are you shitting me?
They don't care.
There's probably money involved.
I wonder. I mean,
You would think there'd be an incentive to not be reporting on that. I mean, there's got to be a reason why.
Yeah, the media controls a lot of stuff, so that's scary in itself.
I just think they've picked a lot of the wrong people to listen to for years, and those people now are just silent because they have. What are they going to say? They ignored this story for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, they did. How are they on cannabis issues of the globe?
Well, they were reefer mad for years.
Reefer madness, right?
Pretty much. And then when it got legalized, and we were actually breaking out enormously at that time with Dick Boston in our writing, and Dick Boston started a newsletter. All of a sudden, they were going pro cannabis, and they hired a new young guy to create a newsletter. And they did some decent coverage for a little while on certain topics, but there's certain things they wouldn't touch. And if you look at recently, they've actually seemed like they're scaling back. There seems like there's a lot of financial problems. Maybe that's the reason why. There's also the main reporter was supposedly on vacation for the last couple of weeks.
Or maybe they don't want to find all the mold. I mean, what are they like? Yeah, go to that plant there, the one on the bottom left, and zoom in on that one. Because you're not inspecting anything. How are you actually looking at all of the harvest? How?
That's ridiculous.
Maybe they don't give a shit about workers, really. You know, I mean, a lot of times when I say Chardonnay drinkers, we're talking about a certain demographic that they don't give a shit about workers, right? I mean, they're owners. They own shit. And a lot of the people that they hire are of those Ivy League folks, and they've never struggled at a real job, right? They're working jobs that are fun. They're not risking their lives for $15 an hour. I don't know. I'm speculating now. But I mean, something's got to change. And I want to put it out there. Anyone listening too, that's an employee at one of these places, contact us. We're on this. We're for you. We have resources. We have connections at the Young Jerks. We'll protect your identity. Hit us up on Twitter, Facebook. You can also email me, mjcboston1@yahoo.com. And you can also call me. I'll even give you my phone number right now, 978-502-4080. Call me. Hit me up. I want to hear from you.
Be dialing people.
I'm your representative. Like I'm going to fight for you to the end. This needs a change for the employees. This is not right. This doesn't, like you said, Ed, that was such a good lefty about firefighters. My friend, actually, a guy I went to college with, he was a firefighter in Boston. He died tragically in a fire a few years ago. You know, that's a really risky profession. They wouldn't tell a firefighter that was coming down with smoke inhalation or not feeling good to go back in. You know?
Right.
Like, why are we doing that to our cannabis workers who are getting less pay than a firefighter?
$15 an hour, like you said.
Yeah, with no pension.
Get back in there.
Yeah, get back in there. And it's like, you know, firefighters should be protected. They weren't for years. Thank God they have better protection. I still don't think they have enough, honestly, from what I've read about, you know, their cancer risks and their cleanup process for their equipment. It's a dangerous profession, firefighters, but people recognize that. I don't think most people recognize that growing cannabis large scale, and I'm not talking small. This is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that this story is going to harm the smaller growers who always get the short end of the stick. The Cannabis Control Commission loves to go after them and bust their balls because they have no money. They don't have any power to go back at. But the Cannabis Control Commission seems to be afraid of the big players. And that's why the big players get away with so much crap. So this needs to be a crackdown on the larger players. And we can tell, you know, we're about to put out a story. Basically, what are the moldiest places in Massachusetts? Where is this stuff happening? Because we have documentation. We're going to put out a story and name, like, you know, the top 10. And those are the places the Cannabis Control Commission should be knocking on the door of every single day now, because we don't want another death. We don't want another Lorna.
A mold map, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has the UFCW tried to get in there and unionize that place?
I've talked to two different reps. It's like two different locals covering the territory, let's say, where True Leave is. And one rep was just on the show the other night, and he said he's open, he wants to do it, but no one's contacted them. The other rep, working on some of the other territory, True Leaf, is basically, I know, he's having, I think, some success. I don't want to speak on where they are in the process, but I think, I know that he's working on it, and I know they're both interested. So, I think they're having more luck this week than they were 3 weeks to a month ago. So
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we hear news that they're union. I would be surprised if we hear news, number one, that they got shut down, and I would be surprised to hear that they're about to be unionized. Either one of those announcements. I don't know if either one of those is going to come true, but I wouldn't be surprised by it.
Now, is this an issue that can happen in other places? It seems like this could be
Yes,
this could happen
it's
anywhere.
happening right now. There are
It
people
is
being
happening.
poisoned at these places without protection, without being notified. And I'm hoping that's changing. Like from what I'm hearing this week, a lot of meetings are being held this week at these places, both with the commissioner, the Cannabis Control Commission, as well as just the businesses themselves saying, holy shit, we do have a problem. So yeah, I think it can happen. And I think the places it's going to happen in are the large ones that have financed with huge debt. They can't afford to treat their employees well, so they don't give a shit about them. I think those are the places you're going to see the problems. And I think that it matters if the employer gives a shit. That's what this comes down to. Do you actually give a shit? And I'm not talking about what you put out to the world and the words, I'm talking about the actions. I would not be surprised to see another one. And I wouldn't be surprised to hear more lawsuits. Like one of my friends is a cultivator, a small legal cultivator. And he brought up, Mike, I've been telling you, there's going to be a syndrome that people are going to be well known, going to know about in a few years. And it's called the green lung. And it's the folks that worked at these places finding out 5-10 years later, they have COPD. They have all these chronic lung conditions from working at these indoor places. So, maybe Lorna will be the only one that dies immediately like this from it, but there will be other people who are going to be, permanently damaged from it. No doubt. There already are.
Damn.
Yeah, they're being damaged right now as we speak.
Yeah, for like $15 an hour.
Wow.
I
think the UFCW needs to put out a notice to all their workers.
I think they're on it this week too. I've seen some statements that they're working on. I know, I think they're all over this. I know in Massachusetts anyways. I don't know what you guys are doing in New Jersey, but you should definitely talk to your local UFCW chapters, no matter where you are right now on this. Cause yeah.
Yeah, not to generalize, but most people at $15 an hour are they're used to getting treated poorly. So it's common practice. So they usually don't say nothing. They don't really stick up for themselves. They're used to.
But I didn't know that you needed a respirator to work around this stuff.
I didn't know. That's why I'm saying I am shocked.
I was ignorant. I'm ignorant.
I'm ignorant.
Super ignorant to this.
No problem admitting that. I didn't realize that this was a concern to this.
It's
this
a
degree.
thing, and it needs to be dealt with immediately.
I mean,
immediately. Like this is not something you wait. Oh, you gotta wait. No. You deal with this right now. Somebody just died.
Yeah, it needs to be a react and response time.
I didn't realize that you need a respirator. Working with that kind of level of keef and powder and stuff. Yeah. Wow.
And she wasn't getting it. Like, her stepdad called into the show. I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear that clip, Lefty and Bong Holio?
Not yet. Did you hear it?
No, I haven't.
He called in, and I called in a couple times, but one time, the first time, he said that he's a welder. She was asking him a few weeks before for the respirators from his workplace.
Oh.
Because they weren't providing them to her.
Oh. So she knew. She knew that's what she needed. Wow. Wow.
Come on.
They say, and True Leaf says the PPE was there.
Now I see why you're so pissed. I mean, it's just
it's really sad.
Everything was there.
Sad, man.
It's like ignoring the memo stuff.
Yeah. And let's talk about CPR. if you work in an industrial type location like this, we're having these high risk and people are passing out and there's explosions. One of the places that I talked about, Holistic Industries, they also had an explosion recently. This is another thing that's going on in Pennsylvania. There was huge explosions, I hear too. There's many risks at these places.
Now, was that reported? Was that heavily reported on? Or
the explosion was, the explosion was in Mass Live. They've done some great reporting, Mass Live and Commonwealth Magazine. They're like the one kind of Boston media that kind of covered this story this week. So I'm not going to say there's nobody, but yeah, Mass Live is like a Worcester paper, and they definitely covered that explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, they got a CPR. Like if nobody apparently did CPR on her. She passed out. She was unconscious. No one tried CPR. At all these cultivation and manufacturing sites that they should have free paid CPR courses. You take an hour off of work and you go to class. You learn CPR so that you could save your coworker if they ever collapse.
Yeah. Well, I used to work at a camp I was a camp counselor, and they offered that as free training just at a camp.
Right. We should do the same at these dispensaries.
Yeah. No,
like these are common sense solutions that the cannabis control, they ask for all sorts of crazy stuff, but nothing to protect the workers.
How much does a respirator cost?
I have no idea. How much? What do you think?
Let's look it up. What kind of respirator would you need for that?
I don't even know. I have no idea. And I don't know all the PPE that they use or were using. I don't know all the details. I'm just going back what's been repeated to me.
Right.
But again, I just know that there are real risk at these places, and the stories are always the same. I think you guys thought, you guys just mentioned it, like who these workers are. They're people that are used to being abused. There are people who are used to doing things that they don't want to do, right? And so they're going to go along. And in these workplaces, they are highly abused, both psychologically, gaslighting. There's all sorts of stuff that happens. And it's over and over again, we hear about the same stories about what the management does to folks. And protection is the last thing that is thought of. It's like you're complaining too much. You're asking for too much. That's the mindset. The mindset is our company has so much debt. We have to sell so much weed, and we have to make you keep working and pay you shit.
There's protection, financial protection. They don't give a damn about the workers.
Worker comes last. That's even after the customer who's getting gouged.
Oh. God, when you put it like that.
Yeah, it's what a mess.
Well, we could do so much better. Look at Bain, and this is a lesson for everybody, especially the politicians. Like smaller is better. Better for the economy. It's better for jobs. It's better for social equity. It's better for our health, both the consumer and the patient. Cannabis is not awesome, large scale indoor. Just not, especially when you have huge debt.
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I'm sure it can be done large scale indoor, but you really got to give a shit. It's, it's hard. You got to focus, and these places are not focused. They're shit shows. They're a joke. We know they are. I mean, we all know they're a joke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some towns make it easy for the big boys to come in. Like Bayonne charges $50,000.
$50,000. South River charges nothing.
South River charges zero.
Zero.
So what's the disconnect here? What am I missing?
50 G's they want in Bayonne.
50 G's is what I'm missing. Yeah.
Probably some campaign contributions.
Oh, that too.
That'll help.
Maybe an offer for a job after they leave office too. That's another one. Or an aide gets an offer.
My favorite was when we were in South Amboy and Lefty, they don't have an ADA coordinator, so Lefty said, "I'll do it for free.
Yeah, I'll be your ADA
I
coordinator.
will do it for free." Ball's in your court, guys.
Yeah.
What'd they say?
They didn't
Nothing.
answer him, but
No.
they don't have an ADA coordinator. So,
Right. And they have a post office with no wheelchair access. A post office. That's federal.
yeah.
You think
That
they'd
seems
follow-
illegal.
they'd follow
Yeah, it's on the
I love you guys when you put the ramps down. That's like the best. Oh, you guys are amazing.
That post office is on the same road that the police station is on. Both buildings, no access. The police station is really bad because when you roll up to it in a wheelchair, there's no intercom. So
Right.
you're stuck there
There's nothing.
and you just shout into the air,
Banging
hoping
on the
that
door.
someone sees you. You can't get to the door. There's
Banging.
steps that go down into a pit.
Yeah, bang a
Oh, boy,
window.
yeah.
So if
one
you're in
of
a
them.
wheelchair, you're just you're in the chair in front of 3 or 4 steps, and you just you have to shout.
It's like 5 steps.
Yeah,
Is it 5 steps?
and you got to shout.
You have
and
to,
hope-
yeah.
They're not going to hear you. They have to see you on camera,
Yeah.
and then be like, "What is this? Let's go outside."
So what we're going to do is roll a joint inside the post office because apparently it's illegal.
What we're gonna do
What-
is roll a joint inside
Okay.
the post office.
Yeah, we're going to roll a
Is
joint.
that illegal anymore or not?
I don't know. It's
I don't know what's
federal,
going on.
right?
Yeah.
Federal property.
Big changes today.
Yeah, I think it matters like who's on the shift.
Okay. So we're going to call the police on ourselves because we want wheelchair access to that post office. So we're bringing our own ramp. We're going to bring our own ramp, go in there, and then roll a joint.
Yeah, like I'll go down for the roll in the joint, but the manager of the post office has to go down for not having wheelchair
Yeah,
access.
yeah,
We'll handcuff each other together.
There you
We'll
go.
walk out. We both fucked up.
I like
That's what
that.
it is. We'll take care
Wait,
of
can
the
you get
problem.
in trouble for just rolling a joint, or you have to smoke it?
I think
Possessing
well, that's
it.
what we were talking about. I think
yeah.
I technically think that those grounds have federal like risk guidelines that they can go off of.
Okay.
If they had officials there that had arresting powers, they absolutely could arrest you, I believe,
Yeah.
for the federal offense of weed being illegal.
They can arrest you
Yeah.
in Sandy Hook, which is a federal park,
And they do that.
which they do.
They do that, you know. So
So Bongholio wants to get arrested, and he's not going to get out of his costume. So he basically wants the fire department to cut him out of the bong.
well, to be honest, I actually don't want to get arrested. I'm willing to get
Okay,
arrested.
okay,
You know what I
willing.
mean? There's a difference.
Yeah.
Because the truth is they need to address the post office because they're going to get a new building for the police station in 2 years down by the waterfront where they're doing redevelopment, but they had no plans on fixing the post office at all.
You're gonna get it done. You're gonna get the ramp, or
Yeah.
maybe a new post office.
I was there the other day. I talked to the manager. I told her we're going to take care of it. We're all going to work together. We're going to take care of it. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Yeah, what a shit show.
But it's interesting because, you know, she said, "Oh, you know, you're preaching to the choir. My mother was in a wheelchair, but she wasn't sharing in the same concerns." And I said, "Oh, well, that's great. Then we obviously sharing the same concerns. People should have access into the building, you know." In those instances, I become attracted to the easiest solution is not even the ramp. It's not. The easiest solution is change your thinking. Change your thinking, real simple. And then, like, that's what I become attracted to is how people in those positions, they're human beings and they're not able. I couldn't get the lady when I was speaking to her admit that it was a problem. She was saying, "Oh, well, there's another post office here," and you know,
What? She's saying to another post office?
she was. I couldn't get her in her position to admit that it was a problem after she just said that her mother was in a wheelchair.
Oh,
So we share the same concerns.
wow.
You know, so her position disallowed her and her
Do it.
pride to say that there was an issue. And that's the stuff that I kind of get excited about because I'm like, this is real easy work for people to just say, you know what? This is wrong the way I'm thinking. The building's illegal. That's what I say. The
This
building is illegal.
illegal.
You're operating a post office illegally.
Illegal post office. Yes.
And I'm here to tell you it.
So
That's
human,
awesome.
human rights
I
violation.
think I need you on the Boston Globe. On Julio.
Do you have wheelchair access to all the dispensary greenhouses up there?
He's gonna figure it out. He's gonna figure out what the opposition is to that, covering the employee stuff.
Yeah, make sure all your greenhouses are wheelchair compliant, or I'm gonna come up there.
With no mold. Mold is not wheelchair compliant.
Oh,
It's not good for patients, definitely.
They can remediate that, can't they, legally, and just take that mold and do something to it, and hocus pocus, here you go. It's good. It's good now, right?
Well, I think they do that all the time.
Yeah, because remember at the expo there was people who there was one woman who was her company was exactly that. Going in, she said they could save like 30% of the crop. I don't know if that's a great percentage.
Yeah.
If you're,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're, how much contamination you'd start off with, but yeah, these companies are doing that.
Was it a radiation machine? Was one of
Yes.
those rad? Yeah.
Yeah.
They zap them.
They just zap it.
Put it in the microwave.
Real cool technology.
Yeah.
Oh, no more mold. Hey,
Check it out.
check it out. You smoke it.
Craft cannabis.
Craft cannabis.
Yes, craft cannabis.
Accelerated flower.
70 and 8.
Yeah, what the hell?
Plus tax. What a deal.
It's organic.
Plus a worker died
The equivalent
making it for you.
mac and cheese weed.
Only 2 workers died this week making this weed for you.
Only 10 people got COPD
Oh.
making this weed for you.
Oh. Oh.
It's like someone got sick while I'm trying to treat my sickness.
Ew.
Mm. I mean, isn't that a not, like,
Counterintuitive.
yeah.
Yeah. You're canceling each other out.
Yeah, it's a wash.
It's a wash.
The other thing too that's going on too is another, it's funny that all the information that I get comes from people who are doing this shit. Like in the industry, people, whether they're employees or owners. One of the other games that's going on, I think probably had partially due to, Lorna's situation, was the THC, the testing. Do you know about how everyone was looking for the highest number?
Yeah.
Well, how do you get high numbers? You dry the fuck out of the weed. And then a lot of them grind it up. And that's like these little games that they're playing. And where does all that go? It goes all in the air. So even beyond the whole Keith thing and the packaging that she was doing, there's a lot of bad things that are happening. And it's like the unintended consequences of like people chasing these THC numbers. And there's so many games going with that too. And I don't even know how you fix that. I really don't at this point.
And like you said, doing all that while in massive debt.
Yeah. And the consumer hates it. The consumer is like so stupid too, because the consumer's like, I want the highest THC number on there. Then you get the weed and you're like, oh, that looks really good. And then you're like, oh, it's so dry.
Interesting.
Have you noticed that the dispensary, a lot of it? I mean, I don't know how much you guys have down there yet. Have you checked it out?
I haven't gone to
Not too much dispensary experience,
no.
Dabble here and there, do a lot of the getting them from, legacy market.
The legacy market's actually better than, or as good or better than the dispensaries in Jersey.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Mass it was for years. It probably still is. I think the dispensaries are starting to really kind of take over the market a little more here because there's so many of them and the prices are starting to come down. And a lot of people also go to Maine, but I totally hear you on that. There's a lot of reasons not to go to dispensaries.
We have one. I like Breakwater. We have one dispensary here in New Jersey.
they're
in Cranberry.
Good. They're decent.
Breakwater is they're different from the other. They're good. They're a good dispensary. They have craft cannabis. It's always good, and I think they're a good dispensary. I hear a lot of people say bad things about them, but those, I believe, are mostly people who are generalizing the whole thing. It's like a blanket, all dispensaries suck, the program sucks, the state sucks, the laws suck, all that, Just Breakwater is good. And they care about their employees.
They have respirators?
I wonder.
Let's ask them.
Yeah.
Let's find out if the dispensaries have respirators in Jersey.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know the guy James, who is always that's apparently what he's known for, is he takes care of the employees. Was one of the things that the word of mouth there.
Let's talk to James, and we'll talk to Hugh. Let's talk to Hugh too.
And I also, when you talk to employees, ask them, especially the cultivation manufacturer. Not so, I don't think these issues are as big of a concern in the stores. Cultivation, ask them if they have asthma. Did you get asthma when you started working there? Do you notice other employees have asthma from working there? I mean, that's that's an easy question that they should be able to answer.
Yeah.
And I think it goes right to the heart of it. I also want to point out too, a lot of the true leave workers and a lot of the workers in the industry that I've talked to over the years, a lot of times they'll just leave a comment and then they won't get back. And that's like 9 times out of 10, they won't get back. And most of the time I feel like it's because they're afraid. And oftentimes it's because they're afraid because they've been forced to sign non-disclosure agreements. And these non-disclosure agreements are basically like not worth the paper they're printed on. Number one, if you're a wage worker, the president of the United States recently said that's not legal. So unless you're a salaried manager, your NDA, as far as I know, doesn't even apply to you. So I think that needs to get out to the workers too, is that you have much more rights to speak out. And union, law and national labor relations law says that you have a right to speak out on worker conditions, worker safety conditions. That's a law too. So an NDA can't silence you on criminal activities. An NDA can't silence you on worker safety issues. Apparently, an NDA can't even silence you at all if you're a wage worker. So I hope some of the employees who, especially ex-employees who are afraid to speak out about the bad practices, come forward. You don't have to be afraid. And if you are afraid, you don't need to use your name.
So this was a shocker to me. Joe Biden pardoned a bunch of people today.
Pretty awesome. Chris Goldstein's getting a pardon. N.A. Poe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to call Chris too, because that's amazing. He
Yeah.
texted me, and I said something to him about it. Oh, that's great.
It depends on what the charges were, but I'm pretty sure that they probably qualify for that, as I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, good for those guys.
Hopefully. I mean, who knows, right? Be funny. You never know, but looks good.
Yeah, it was a federal deal.
It's kind of surprising. I didn't think he was going to do it. Did you?
No, I feel like this stuff comes out of left field for me all the time. I'm like, was I following this? Where this just comes out of nowhere, it seems.
I'm good like half the time, but I did not expect this at all. I definitely would have said no way.
Yeah, he was not leaning that way at all. Somebody got to him.
Fetterman.
Somebody got to him.
I think it's John Fetterman. And probably Oz. Oz is so anti-cannabis. Right?
He is totally anti-cannabis. Yeah.
So, I mean, what better way to help John Fetterman defeat Dr. Oz? I think that, I think it helps the midterm elections. People now, the young people have a reason to vote.
Their whole campaign is being ran. It's just a smear campaign, one against another. Smear campaign being ran on Facebook. It's just campaigns nowadays are so different than what they used to be. People used to run on their merits, and now they just slam the other guy. Oz don't live in. He's from New Jersey. You see it every day on.
That was pretty funny. Some of them, because there was the Soprano guy. Little Steven. Oh my God. Forget about it. Come on, go back to Jersey.
And that's the thing. At the end of the day, there's a meme or two that's funny. Like you laugh about it.
And the thing about little Steven, he's from Massachusetts. We own him. He's from like Winthrop, Watertown, Mass. I've recently found that out. I like little Steven. He's a good guy.
This is some Jersey thievery.
Yeah, he's not really from Jersey either.
Yeah.
Come back to Massachusetts, little Steven. Could be a masshole again. I like you guys. I can have like more fun. Like I can be like more myself on here.
Right on.
I'm trying to find that video. I think I found it here. Let's see. Is this it here?
Which video?
Little Steven?
Little Steven? Oh my God.
Let me show you an amazing ad.
I don't have it hooked into the system here.
Of course I don't. Yo, Dr. Oz. Stevie VZ here. What are you doing in Pennsylvania?
everybody knows you live in New Jersey and you're just using your in-laws' address over there. And you do not want to mess around with John Fetterman. Trust me, he's a little out of your league. Nobody wants to see you get embarrassed. So come on back to Jersey where you belong, and we'll have some fun. Now we'll go to the beach, we'll go surfing. Come on. Yo,
Come back to Jersey. Come back to Massachusetts. We'll go surfing, little Steven.
Ridiculous.
Wow.
That's funny.
Ah.
That was a funny one.
Wow, he's just sitting on his little beach front there. Good for him. Good for little Steven.
It's funny though, because with that race, it's like you have two of the most untrusted types of people: a doctor and a politician.
Who, Fetterman?
Well, politician. Then you have Oz, a doctor.
The only thing they can really rip him on is that he got all his money from his parents. That's the only thing they rip him on. That's all I hear.
Well, he also chased down that black jogger with a shotgun, held him at gunpoint.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he did. That was one kind of
He
crappy
was
thing.
Mayor Braddock at the time, and someone lit off a firework, and he claims he thought it was an assault weapon. So he chased down a black jogger who was unarmed, held him with a shotgun, and was like, "You motherfucker!"
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you dare move, or I'll blow your head off. And he's like, he says he didn't point it at him, but the black jogger says no, he pointed it right at
You
me.
know what? He looks like someone that would do. He looks like a guy that would do that. He looks like I thought he was like a linebacker when I first saw him. I'm like, what do you play football or something? But no, he was just a tough guy.
He heard a firework. He thought it was an assault weapon.
He has guns. He's a tough guy. Okay, fine. I know. Runs around with guns and shoots and wants to shoot people. Okay, great.
But no one talks about that story anymore.
Great. I didn't hear that one. No, I didn't hear that one. That's wow. Okay.
I still like him better than Dr. Oz.
Yeah, Dr. Oz should be afraid then. What's Dr. Oz talking shit for you? Shut up, Dr. Oz.
Yeah. I would vote for Fetterman. I'm gonna be straight up.
I'll take Fetterman too. I like a tough guy.
Yeah, I like the tough guy too. I don't like him, I don't like what he did though. I agree. I think that was.
To be honest, I like Oz out of the two of them.
You do?
You like Oz?
Yeah, I know it's not favorable, but I just.
How do you vote for someone that hates weed though? I want to ask you that. How do you do that?
And the reason why is because where we're at with weed right now, I don't think his individual stance is coming into a play, and it's not going to have an impact. And I think there's a lot of other things that are like larger scale issues at hand here that are way more important than just that one topic. In fact, it's so small it doesn't even register on the radar for me. If you look at Dr. Oz, he has like medical patents. He's made some medical inventions. He is a self-made man. He's got a lot of money, but he made that money. So he's being attacked for being successful. And Fetterman, to me, is someone who doesn't really have too much education, never really had a real job.
What good is education if you think cannabis is like the devil? Like, I don't buy education when you think cannabis is the devil. I think John Fetterman, I'll give him credit for that. Like, he's a leader on it.
I think the reason why people are giving him credit is because they're both horrible candidates and their mind just wants to pick one, but they're both garbage choices. That's what I think. They're both horrible choices. That's what I think.
Who's going to run for president?
Hillary. No. Let's say Hillary just to drive him nuts. Hillary. Barack Obama. I don't know. Trump, obviously.
That little girl.
But I wonder if Biden will even run for re-election. I kind of doubt it, actually.
They say he won't.
Yeah.
That's
so who? Kamala Harris, probably, definitely then.
Right.
There's not a lot of good choices.
No, I think we're in trouble.
Yeah, I think we might be.
That's the whole thing.
That's why I think like you talked about, Bongholio, that cannabis is the number one issue. I agree with that. But the number one issues are the reasons why I would never vote for a Republican. Even though I've had a couple on my show recently, I like them. I'm friends with them. The insurrection, the fascism, women's rights.
You know what it is too is
they're taking rights away. I don't know how anyone can vote Republican at this point.
If I could actually a little more clarity here, I don't actually like Oz as a candidate. I don't like how people attack him. They attack him on meritless, kind of substanceless, kind of, overextended in your opinion, kind of. It's that kind of stuff where rubs me the wrong way. Every time someone's talking bad about him, it's like you're just someone talking bad about someone, and I'm absorbing your negative energy right now.
But it works. It's like when Trump does the same exact thing, and it works. Yeah. That's the problem, kind of.
That's the success. It's the fortunate, and it's unfortunate.
They both never held office before, so they don't have a history of voting or anything like that. So Trump had the same advantage back then. That's what the advantage Oz has. He has no record of political or anything. So
yeah, it could also be a disadvantage, all of how it's played. I mean, when Trump was running, he was selling merch. Dude had merch. What candidate has merch?
Come over to my merch table.
You could say a million things about the dude or whatever, but the dude was selling merch.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah,
and people were putting it on, and they knew they might get punched in the face that day. Like, yo, you're selling that kind of merch, and you're running for president. You're doing something right.
I'm going to get punched in the face for this.
And
merch.
I hate the guy.
It's like saying Alex Jones is doing something right. It's like what what they're doing. It's like the carnival barker.
Yeah.
All it is. It's like there's a sucker born every day. Congratulations, you caught a sucker. It's like people that look at like what we do, our shows, they're always looking at the numbers and all that other stuff. They're like, you guys, don't get the number or whatever. And it's like, well, we're not looking, like if we wanted a million numbers, we'd go for the lowest common sucker denominator that you guys watch. The people that say that shit are the ones who are the suckers. Like,
and hey, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Bingo.
There's always something to grab.
Confidence game, like there's you go to YouTube, it's like full of them. Even on Facebook, you get those ads like, you want to be a full-time consultant telling other people how to sell coaching advice. It's like, I don't want to be Tony Robbins. No. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that shit?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
about. I don't know. Those people should just go sell used cars. I mean, honestly, you'll make a better living. So do what I do. I walk dogs. I love my life,
Oh, walking a dog.
That's all I do. I show up, like I used to be a financial advisor, made a lot more money, couldn't sleep at night. Now, every house I show up to, the dog is like, I mean, they're so happy. You could be in your worst day. You show up at a house, you're going to be happy. Because that dog is like, he's been waiting to see you since yesterday. He's like,
nice.
And I sleep really well.
That's cool.
You walk other people's dogs?
Everybody's dogs. I'm in a well-off town, and I walk them all. Like I walked probably 17 dogs today.
Not at the same time though.
No, I do some people do the group walks
because there's a guy around my town.
I don't do much of that. I do sometimes 2 or 3 at a time, or 4 even, but mostly I do a lot. Like I have a partner too who has her own practice, and we kind of advertise and market together. And sometimes we share customers. Sometimes we do solo customers. And I'll take a lot of the dogs that she can't walk with her group walks, or her, where she goes to the dog park. I do a lot of the strong dogs, the ones that pull, the pullers. You know what I mean? I love them. Yeah, I'll deal with them. Very patient.
The guy around my town, he's got big ones, little ones, and he'll start off with like 2, and then he's got 10, and then 15, and then back down to 4.
Yeah. It's fun. It's good. It's really, I love it. If anyone ever wants advice on how to get into it, I would definitely help you. If you care, number one, about the dogs, that's the number one thing. And I would also say, if people are looking to get into that, don't just do it and not know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. Like safety of the dogs. There's a lot to learn.
Well, yeah, if you take multiple dogs, they all better get along.
And you better have think ahead of all the things that can go wrong.
Yeah,
a lot of things can go wrong.
Dog
even
bite.
On a solo dog walk, and it might not even be your fault at all.
Right.
That's why if anyone says, "Does your dog bite?" you say, "Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he does."
Yes.
You've been warned.
Back off.
Yeah. Is there a dog bite?
Yes, he bites.
Funny.
He's a
It's
dog.
funny. Yeah. I have some interesting. Yeah, it's funny. I'm not even gonna get into all the stories on dogs tonight.
What happened?
Yeah, I want to.
no.
One good one.
It's just, you get all the idiots out there. It's like, I'll give you one. All right. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I'm walking down a trail. I got 2 dogs for 2 different customers. We're doing a trail walk. These are trails they are not off leash, but everybody has off leash dogs on them. It's not a big deal, especially if their owner is there and has control of their dog. I walked through. There's 8 dogs there, all off leash, 8 different owners. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? We're in the middle of the woods and you guys having a fucking off-leash dog party? Like, and they're all ladies and they're yelling at me, who's following the law. So I didn't say anything. I was just,
What were they yelling at you?
just
Because he had his
stop.
dog on a leash.
To stop walking my dogs until they had all their dogs on leash. And I had already stopped and I got frustrated. It's like, I'm not going to sit here for 5 minutes. These dogs need exercise. I'm paid by the minute here. So I ignored them and kept walking.
Yeah,
and I could tell they were pissed off at me. But that's the shit you deal with. It's just like people being idiots out there. It's like,
all different types of idiots.
yeah. And it's always, oh, my dog's okay. And sometimes I'll look at them and say, well, my fucking dog isn't. You know what I mean? Like your dog's about to die. Get away.
I got to share this story. So I'm working over the summer, right? And, I hang awnings and canopies and that kind of stuff. So, I go around back and the lady says, oh, I'm going to let my dog out. He's friendly. He's fine or whatever. He doesn't bite and this and that or whatever. Okay, fine. 2 dogs she has. 2 little dogs come out. They're like little white yapper things or whatever. So like, whatever. I'm ignoring them. I have a ladder. I go and step up on the ladder. As I step down, I guess the noise of my boot on the ladder rung from stepping on it and stepping off of it just startled the dog. And the dog just lunged and bit me. Bit me about a minute after the lady's like, yeah, here's a bite, whatever. So I respond by going, he bit me. Like I say it out loud, and the lady's like, he what? He what? You heard me. He bit me. He bit me. And he did, right? And then the lady literally goes, what did you do? What did I do?
Did you do anything?
I was going up and down the ladder.
That's not doing
all
anything.
I did.
Yeah.
And she had asked, and the way she had asked me was she was insinuating as if like she was like, well, my dog never bites. She wanted to know
why. The dog's never bit her.
Because she needs to know how this happened or whatever. And as she was explaining to her, I said, listen, because I don't know why your dog bit me. Because she said, why did he bite? Like, well, why did he bite you? I don't know. I don't know why your dog bit me.
She was in denial.
But I went up and down the ladder and the dog got startled and your dog bit me. And she was like, she was not okay with the fact that the dog bit me.
Wow. That you admitted it. That
It's
you said something.
Yeah, it's like your dog. It's yours.
Why would you say something like that?
Ruin
her day.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable.
Why did he?
If my dog ever bit anyone, the first thing I'd be saying is, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Please don't sue us."
Yeah, right.
Like seriously,
No,
I'd be freaking the fuck out for you. I'd be like, "Are you okay?
Yeah,
you don't have rabies, right? Let's go get you to the hospital."
I don't really get too mad at work. It's just work, But like at that moment, it was like, "Are you kidding me? What did I do?"
Wait, what did
I
do?
Nothing.
Wow.
People are crazy though. But there's a lot of, I gotta say, there's a lot of good dog owners too.
Yeah, I know.
I come across a lot of good people who are like very, they get it. They're like,
oh yeah, look how right there.
Here we go. Let's introduce our friend Lance. Lance Scott is from Texas.
Lance,
how are you, Lance?
What's up, Mike? Well, I don't know. You guys okay with what's happening today?
With Joe Biden?
Biden announcing that he's going to let low levels, low level simple possession he's going to pardon. They pulled this before.
We were just talking about this. What is your take on this, Lance?
Okay, how far is the election away? Less than a month. We're like what? We're on this. What's today? What's today? It's the 10th or the 6th. So we're roughly a month away. And excuse me, my girlfriend tagged me with the new lipstick that I bought her. So I didn't. It's not Ash Wednesday, but I got lips on my forehead. So I'm dealing with other stuff here as well. But because it is October and that's my birthday, it's my birthday month, so it doesn't really matter.
Right on.
No, okay. Like, I don't know if you guys have paid attention to this. I mean, I know everybody has, especially the people in the movement. That's why the first thing I did today was send Lefty a text going, this is pissing me off, because it was either the Obama administration. I think it was in the Obama administration. They kept talking about how they were going to decriminalize this and decriminalize that, and the feds are going to reschedule and all this other stuff. It's a bait and switch, people. It's a bait and switch. Do not listen to these Democrats. They're doing it 30 days before the election because they're trying to appeal to quote unquote their base, and they're just talking about simple possession, federal simple possession. Does anybody know what it means to have simple possession on a federal level? The feds don't mess with a case unless it's over 500 pounds.
That's not true. A lot of people. No, that's not true. You're talking about two different things. Number one, like the FBI or whoever doesn't go after the big criminal prosecution cases you're talking about. Unless it's over 500 pounds.
I got busted.
There's a lot of people. Wait, let me finish. A lot of people have been arrested on Parkland, like Chris Goldstein.
I get you there.
They were so if you like, these guys are talking about going into a post office and rolling up some weed. They could be arrested federally for that. So a lot of people have been arrested for possession.
Can we do that? Can we bring weed to the post office?
The U.S. Postal Service is a private company that's being contracted by the federal government.
So maybe they're not there, but in other places, there have been possession charges.
It's a quasi thing. But anyways, the reason why I was talking about this is they did this before. They even did it I think they did it under Clinton. They said this, and Normal comes out and says, "Oh, it's gray. Look what they're going to do. They're going to ask for rescheduling. They're going to start an investigation or a hearing that we've already had about this stuff." Keith, lay down, buddy. I'm all hyped up about this because we've been down this road before. I mean, whether you like Trump or not, Trump did more for the cannabis movement by at least getting the Hemp Act in 2018 passed through and getting that going. So now it's rolled this thing up to where we have Delta 8, Delta 9, and all the hemp derivatives coming out of the hemp industry. But for Joe Biden, and it's not even Joe Biden, he's just a figurehead. The Democrat machine or whatever it is sitting back and going, how can we energize our base so they'll turn up in November and vote for us? Well, we're just going to promise all our potheads, which they know we control how many states now? 38, 39. It keeps counting every freaking election cycle of which state is already passing these laws. And then they're going to screw you. They're literally after the election's over and we won the House again, or we won this again, and we've done this, we're just going to table this, or it'll go into a House committee. And they'll do the research, and then they'll come back and say, no medical use. It's not medical use, or it's this, or it's that. They'll make up some excuse, and it's the same old rigmarole. And I've heard this before, and it's so frustrating because what's going on in New Jersey is wonderful. But what did they forget? They forgot about the patients. They're always going to be forgetting about the people in the wheelchairs. They're going to and the medical uses of this stuff. So yeah, you go out on federal land with simple possession of whatever narcotic that you have, whether you're doing mushrooms in the Joshua Tree National Monument, or you're at the national park in Colorado or a national park wherever you are, and then they give you simple possession and then throw you in jail. I've never heard of any of my friends that were busted unless they're growers. Now, this is where the growers get in Humboldt, up in Humboldt and up in the Emerald Triangle, where they get in trouble is because they're on national forest land there, or they're in national forest land in Colorado. But do we honestly think that he's actually building a list and writing pardons right now?
No, it's just going to happen. He's going to do a blanket pardon, and you'll know before the election if it happens. You can't fake a pardon. Like he
Yeah,
either
well,
does or doesn't.
dude, is that mean
And you
that
can do a blanket pardon. Jimmy Carter did it for Vietnam war protest.
for the war protests? Well, I was already fired up, but this one right here pisses me
I think you
off.
may have a point on the rest of it, because he's promising other things. But I think on the pardon thing, we're going to know one way or the other whether that's done or not.
And that's going to happen soon.
You have to.
He literally needs to have a news conference, and they need to be able to say which people are being pardoned. Is it the guy doing life out of Mississippi?
No, he's saying everyone that has a possession charge. That's all they said, right? I mean, you look what it's been put out. It's
Everyone,
not about.
All I heard was simple possession.
Simple possession. Yeah.
Which means simple possession is
No
less is down here in like
Absolutely. I think they should do a lot more.
level.
I think it's kind of like the student loan thing. He's doing something, but I mean, for most people, it's not enough. I mean, I know that.
It's not that it's not enough. And I had believe it or not, Lefty, I had a conversation with Diana McElroy yesterday. I'd actually called her out of the blue just because she had some crazy post up. And there is a group of people within our movement that are not going to believe the writing on the wall, even though we're showing them. They're going to just go toe the party line, and they're going to say, no, the Democrats are the party of the pot smokers. They're the liberal progressives, and they're going to go forward with that, even though the previous administration was the one that blew it open for everybody. Once the Hemp Act of 2018 passed, he blew it open for everybody that can go and grow hemp. And now that's why you have on patrol out of freaking South Carolina, Danny Brown pulling somebody over that just came from a head store that's smoking Delta 8, and he's trying to arrest him. And he looks at the package and he goes, it says it has THC in it, but it's Delta 8, not Delta 9 or Delta 10. It's this new hemp stuff, and you can buy it at the little store right around here. So if I can't buy it at this little store around here and you're going to pull me over to arrest me, he didn't take them to jail. He just confiscated their weed and said, now we're going to send it off for testing, which cost the taxpayers in Richmond, South Carolina, $150 to $450 per test when they send it out. It's a fact-finding mission. They don't know, the police or anybody. They don't know. They don't care. How do we solve that? Biden administration says they're going to legalize weed. They're just going to decriminalize it or going to start the process of doing that. I heard that from the Clinton administration. I've heard it on. I'm old enough to remember Jimmy Carter. I was born. So I remember being 8 years old and them saying that they're going to legalize weed.
Yeah,
they're going to legalize, and then I started smoking weed.
I think that Jimmy Carter is the only one I think would have done it, except for the Noble Party where the guy wanted some cocaine. You heard about that, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think you're right. Like I don't think that the Republicans are any better though. Like I feel like both parties,
and that's what I was telling Diana. I was telling
Yeah.
Diana, I was like, you have to understand, both sides are lying to us.
Yeah.
Whether they're the blue party or the red party, they're lying to the green party, and that's what we are. We're technically the green party people. We fly the green flag, and we're all about cannabis, and we're trying to do the right thing because we see the benefits of it. But they're lying to everybody.
I think the thing that's going to be hard for them is to continue to lie on this though, because this is so popular now. Like, when we go back to like the 10, 15, 20 years ago, it didn't have a 65%, 70% number.
Oh, it's more than that now. It's
exactly. It just keeps going up. I mean,
I think in some states you're at 80, 90% approval rating. So at some point we've got to do something. People, get the word out and start watching and watch the news every day. Read your news reports, and if you see one inkling of them stepping back, you either no vote the election in November, or you try to vote them out of office. You have to take your faith and say, okay, we can hope the Republicans are not going to do something. Because right now, what are we looking at? Nuclear fucking war is what we're looking at. That's what's staring at us right now. We got somebody over in Ukraine, outside of Ukraine right now, attempting to put nuclear weapons on the table because his archaic form of military got their ass beat because we sent over updated military equipment. They were using probably military equipment from World War II So it's just them trying to get rid of their army surplus stuff. And so for us back here, we can't touch that. We can't touch that. We can't touch that. But all of a sudden, Ukraine's turning the tide, pushing into Russia, going to push them back, and then it's going to take some crazy man to go push a button, and then once that button goes off, and one city gets destroyed from a tactical nuclear weapon, and we're all going to be screwed. We're all going to be screwed, and then pot's not going to mean anything to anybody. Food will mean everything to everybody, or electricity will mean everything to everybody. So, man, I'm sorry to be ranting, but this is one of the pivot. This is why we have to reunite ourselves under a banner. And if it happens to be the banner with the cannabis leaf on it, that's the banner for me, because we have 38 states. I can't remember what it is. I know it's 38 states that have passed some form of some type of cannabis related law, and there's 28 that are recreational, medicinal, or something. So we've got numbers.
I love Diana. She's such a pain in the ass. She's so cute, though. I got a crush on her.
Well, she's cute, but she has this her issue is that people don't understand this about Diana. She was born behind the Iron Curtain. She was born in Ukraine. She saw all of that stuff as a child, and her biggest fear is communism. Or her biggest fear is not living under this system. And when she starts seeing it, she's going to align herself with quote unquote people that do the most against Putin and Russia or the Chinese or whatever. She has to understand that the party of they're in bed with the Chinese, and the Chinese aren't doing any better right now. Their whole real estate and economy is tanking. And so they're not in a position to challenge anybody at this, even though they're saber rattling with Taiwan. So for us, it's very important to. Did y'all hear what Kamala Harris said when she went to visit? She said our partner, North Korea. Did anybody hear that little flub that she said? No, you're a partner with South Korea. You're standing on the South Korean soil with your binoculars looking into North Korea. And then what is Kim Jong-il do at that time? Sends one over Japan. Sent one right up into space and sent it up over Japan, just a test of whether or not we could strike Japan with a nuclear weapon. So yeah, I mean, this was on my final straw. I said, oh, and then Normal comes out, of course, and says, oh, isn't this great? They're going to reclassify, and they're going to do all this investigation, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that, which they're just trying to win that. It's just appealing to their base. So I'm watching, and I'm watching very closely, because I am not going to put up with them pulling the rug out from underneath us again. They're just not going to do it to us. I'm not going to let it happen. You know, even if I have to do, what was that thing they did with the truckers? You know how everybody went across Canada, the truckers for farmers and all that kind of stuff. They all got in their trucks and Well, I'll start a convoy in Amarillo of wheelchairs. I'll get in my electric wheelchair and I'll start heading towards Washington D.C. and I'll see how many wheelchairs we get linked up before we roll into Washington D.C. on our electric wheelchairs, because this has got to stop. It is. I am 52 years old. I've been doing this for 40 years now. And to see the rug get pulled out from underneath us again, because, okay, Joe Biden, you're going to reclassify marijuana. What's next? You're going to do the crack for Hunter. You know, they're already handing out the crack kits. We already talked about that.
They're dab kits.
Yeah, we didn't get that. I didn't get my dab kit. I didn't get my dab kit.
Such horse shit, man. I swear to God. I don't know why. I really don't know why we put up with this. I really
want a free dabber. I did want a free dabber.
I wanted one.
I wanted one as well.
It's not a crack pipe. It's a dabber.
Whatever. It's a eucalyptus burner. You're supposed to put eucalyptus oil.
Yo, Lance, they're selling headpieces on Amazon, right? Headpieces for bongs as olive oil kitchen funnels. And they're under the home decor section.
Hilarious.
Tommy
Chong went to jail for selling bongs and headpieces. And
I was there at that time when Tommy was. everybody had a Tommy Chong, had Chong glass.
Look
It
at
was the most-
Amazon.
Look at Amazon.
Amazon's doing it.
They
They're
do
doing
whatever
it.
they
They call it
want.
something else.
They're calling
They're
it a
calling
kitchen funnel.
A kitchen funnel.
A
And
kitchen
hilarious.
The whole
Good
the
move.
headpiece is smaller than the olive oil hole that your bottle
Look
would
it up.
have.
Look it up. Google it. Google Amazon.
These are
Kitchen funnel.
Kitchen funnel.
You'll get headpieces galore.
It's a headpiece. It's
these are for
hilarious.
tobacco
Many,
use
many.
only. That was
Many.
No,
it's for olive oil. Olive oil.
olive oil. All right.
Kitchen funnel.
In Massachusetts, though, that the head shops for years for tobacco use only.
Only.
Like,
and that's really popular among the kids now. You have to realize they call it chopping.
Yeah.
So they were using it for tobacco with a little bit of weed sprinkled on top.
Yeah, no, Mike. This is under the home decor and
That's funny.
kitchenware wares
it's
section.
hilarious.
That's awesome.
It is.
And-
You know what? It's so funny because I go into a lot of these ritzy homes, right? Dog walking. As so much in the home decor is very common to see a bong. I'm kind of shocked. I'm like,
Yeah, home decor.
It's a
like,
decor.
wow,
It's
they
a
smoke
vase.
weed.
It's a
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's
It's-
just a vase. Like it looks
It's a
like a bong.
vase. It's a
But
flower
a lot
vase.
of times, no, I swear to God, a lot of times it's their kids. They have kids that smoke weed,
Oh yeah.
and they just don't give a shit. Like,
Why do we care? We're in 2022.
I don't care. I love it when I
This-
find out one of my
this-
customers smokes weed. I'm very happy.
I'm very happy.
or
And-
even if it's their kids,
Yeah,
because I know it's they're going to be
it's
cool
great.
with me.
I made a
the whole
bomb
thing.
today at work out of a one of those pomegranate bottles.
Oh, nice.
I made a sweet bomb today. Yeah.
There you go. I
Yeah.
like those ones you make out of apples with the little straws.
Yes.
Yeah, I used well, I actually had a female piece and a headpiece, so I just was able to do it up real quick, and I had a stainless steel straw from one of like a cup or whatever.
Very nice.
Rigged it up real quick,
Wow.
got super big doing bong hits at lunch.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
MacGyver over here.
You
Yeah,
know,
it felt like
do you know the funny thing? Go back on Diana. You know the only thing she doesn't like about Bong Holio is the fact that Bong Holio is a single parent
Listen.
with a baby bong. With a
No.
baby bong.
This
She
is
said
how,
the
this is
like
how it's
the
going to go
baby.
down.
Would
The
she
next-
want to hook up with him or something? What's going on?
She's going to be in the next music video, right? I'm Bong Holio. She's
And
going to
she's gonna
be.
be
He's going to be
Mrs.
Pink Holio. She's going to be Pink Holio. I'm going to be
Yeah.
Bong Holio. We're going to be not eating donuts, but licking donuts. I'm
Oh,
going to
that's
be
hot.
licking the pink frosted
Oh,
donuts.
wow.
Oh
I'll be
boy.
licking that. She'll be licking the chocolate frosted
Does she know
donut.
this? Does she write? Does she
I
sign
have to
I
run.
know,
It
is she okay with this?
run
I
this
have,
by
I have
her?
to run it by her.
We got to make sure.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you
I'm
give
giving
it a
her a
check.
golden opportunity. She'll be happy about it.
Oh my God.
So we're going to be licking the donuts, but not eating them, right? And then it's going to turn into a thing where she drops the baby off, like at my front store, like my front stoop. Like I have the baby because she doesn't want it anymore. And I'm like, why don't you like the baby? Why don't you like the baby, Diana? This is all part of the skit. This is going to be part of the music video. Why don't you like the baby, Diana? Everyone loves the baby. And she's going to be saying something along the lines of like, it's not that I don't like the baby. I hate you. I hate you. You don't look like a bong. You look like a meth head. Like, going through this whole
wow.
thing or whatever. Yeah. And then we'd be licking the donuts again. Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh,
So
you got.
well, no. And when I was talking to her, I was like, "Do you know what irony is?" And she's like, "Yeah, sort of." It's like it's kind of like what that is because what Mike is doing with Bong Holio is saying with baby Bong Holio is that your children need to be involved in this as well because of the cannabinoid system that they have in their body. That they would be better off, and my DNA proved it. I bred an engineer and I have a professional surfer. How did they get that? They were cannabis kids since their mother was 4 months pregnant. She went to their first cannabis cup in 2000 and they were born in 2003. So I guess 2002, she was 4 months pregnant when I took her over there.
Well, you know what? To be honest, Lance, there was an educational moment for Diana because she did not like the baby. She did not like anything about it. And through telling me that she didn't like it and opening up a discussion, she started to learn about childhood disease that
Like
left
pandas.
the informed.
I gave her a good name. Does anybody remember John Hagelin, the guy that ran from under the? I don't remember what party he ran back in. I think
Something party.
it was the. It wasn't
Diet.
the green. Wasn't the Green Party, but it was like because he's a very intelligent man. He has a wife named Ima Hagelin. Just look, and I told Diana, look her up. Ima Hagelin. She's the one that started the midwifery movement back in the 60s. She's one of the most intelligent women I've ever met in my life. I sat in a room over at the Pax Party House in Amsterdam with close to 100 pregnant women, and they were pregnant. Mine, just because she had twins in her, wasn't that big at 4 months, but the whole room was full of women, and there was a Q&A for about 3 hours dealing about, is cannabis safe for women while they smoke? And when she got up there and got that question, she looked at everybody in the room and was like, why wouldn't you smoke cannabis? Why wouldn't you?
You know why Diane doesn't like the baby? Because Diana is in the industry as an educational, as an educator. So therefore, she doesn't like those optics. Well, I'm an artist, right? And the point of that project is to, it's going to poke somebody's small little comfort zone that they've built with their little boxes and their little walls. And then when they get their uncomfortability poked, that's when the dialogue opens up. And then she learned about medical diseases, and you can start talking about how children in New Jersey, they're able to have cannabis administered in schools. All these discussions then get brought up, and it does become an educational learning experience. And I watched her go through that journey on my own, even though
it's a cathartic moment. And that's what I told her, is like, I spent, man, it must have been close to an hour on the phone with her and we talked about everything. That's what happens when I get on the phone with Diana. It's like, we go from talking about cannabis to talking about the world as a whole, and understanding that this is a rabbit hole that you don't want to go down if you're not prepared to spend the next 50 years or 60 years of your life educating yourself, because it's so nuanced in what it is that it will take you a long time to cover it. Aki, come on, buddy. Stop. He's whining like a little.
I just tell her, I said, hey, you keep doing you. You keep doing you. We both do what we do well, and we both look good while doing it.
Right. And the thing is I think you guys need to go out on Bongholio, even though I know it's not a really good part of New Jersey, but you guys need to get out on a Friday and Saturday night in Paterson, New Jersey with Bongholio and get the cops' attentions, because then On Patrol will come live. They'll be on there live, because it used to be Live PD. Now it's called On Patrol, and it's on Reels. And the only city that y'all have is Paterson, New Jersey. And I understand Paterson's not the greatest place.
No, it's not.
But it's not. Dude, the stuff that I'm seeing out of Paterson, I keep telling my girls, like, and this is where you want to go back. So, I don't want to go back to Paterson. I'll go to Bayonne. Or she said, I'll go to Edison. Or there's things like that. I'll be like, oh, okay. So it's okay as long as we're not in the bad area of New Jersey. But right, she just said, "Is that hell? Patterson's hell on earth?" And I was like, "But we've got to start doing things like that." And I guarantee you, because of your little incident with your torch.
Did you see the video where about 30 kids in the basketball court all ran away?
They all ran. Because you look, there's a guy dressed as a bong. There's a child molester here.
I cleared 4 courts. They thought I was not well in the head.
Yeah, ran away.
And
they were young adults. They were out.
Yeah, those were young men at midnight.
Love it.
So
I gotta blast off, guys. All
right,
really
Mike.
Hey, Mike, have me
Mike,
so long.
Crawford, thank you so much.
Always
man.
a pleasure, Mike.
How can we reach you? How do we get in touch with you? And how do we see your show?
At the Young Jerks on Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, best way. But we're live on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and all those places. YouTube. Yeah, subscribe to all of them, please, especially our iTunes. It's like hugely growing now for us. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe on our iTunes. Young Jerks, JURKS.
Thank you for sharing all that information with that story. That's really unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, I learned a lot today, and I'm really disgusted. And thanks for disgusting me.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I know, right? I'm such a downer on this stuff.
Thank you.
Hey, no, it's not.
We're going to work on this problem. We're going to fix it now.
That's it. We got to fix it. I would love to come back.
You're not a downer at all. That is not the point of all this thing. You're a highly intelligent individual that knows the truth, and you've been obligated by your creator to bring the truth to people. You're going to speak.
Don't I know that now? Believe me. I mean, it's. I feel like I've been smashed over the head with it the last 2 weeks. I can't even express the words.
It sucks. And it's, I've been to jail. I've been arrested. I've been cleaned up. I've lost crops. I've done all of that stuff. Is it going to stop me? No, it'll stop me. And you can pry that bong from my cold dead hand is how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel at this point, because I'm already in a wheelchair. There ain't nothing else they can do to me. Go ahead, wheel me into fucking prison. Go right ahead. You're gonna send me to the medical ward, and then while I'm in there, I'm just like, I'm in here over a plant. Do you realize that, fellas? And I'll just sit there and educate them all. I did it in all my court cases. I chew up time. I'll take up time and all their time, and all it's doing is like, oh, you guys don't know what you're doing. You just
They just give fuel to the fire.
Yeah, it is. It's unfortunate, but we're gonna win this, and it's coming soon. It's coming soon. Over hell or high water. It's coming soon.
Thank you, Mike Crawford, and I appreciate
you guys.
your time,
Thank you so much.
You're the best.
Keep doing what you're all doing. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Mike.
man.
Take care,
brother.
You too.
Dude, I am
He's the
fucking.
best.
I am mad as a. Oh my god! When I saw that,
you bring up some good points, Lance. All the things that you mentioned, and I can understand why you're frustrated. You have reason to be frustrated. You just mapped out your entire journey of seeing this happen before and then not being followed through with. So.
Okay, I'm gonna friend him. I'm gonna get him on because this is how we have to do this. I'm gonna follow him on. I mean, he's got he's got 420,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
420. I'm in the 420,000s of his followers. I wish they would give you the other number on there. He's only following 275,000, but he's got 427 or 420,000. Wow. That's a good number to go to.
Well, yeah,
that's a good number. That's a good number. Could you take Aki out for a little bit?
Can I put him back in?
You will when he's done.
Promise.
Hey, did you want to see Bayonne? There's Bayonne right there.
Check it out.
I can't see nobody.
What do you mean? They're right here.
Right here. Look, Bayonne, right here.
This is Bayonne, New Jersey.
Yeah, got my.
Here, Jen, talk.
That's not the Bayonne I remember. I lived on Avenue C in my first apartment.
Here, put the headphones on.
Babe, I can't. I got things to do. I just worked like 20 hours in 2 days.
You have time. You have time. You have a minute.
This is Avenue C. Look, we're looking down Avenue C, and this is 49th Street. Mike is on 49th Street. See?
Here, let me take this off.
Hold on. We're not done. We're not done yet. We're not done yet.
Look.
We have things to do too, but we're not done.
Here's a Bayonne police car, and and there's a
the mini bomb hole over here. If I don't
McCabe ambulance. Wait, come back.
Wait, where did you go?
Where'd you go?
Wait. I don't see you.
Where'd you go?
She's coming back.
Jesus.
She's coming back. Just.
Oh, okay, there we are.
There you go.
All right, now get up close to the camera and take a look here.
See, look, I got your on the big screen so she can see it. Stop it, Aki. So this is now watch what he does. He's gonna set it on the street. So this is now what is this? Is the cross street on Main Street. So see, he'll set the camera there. This is bad.
I don't remember VW Bugs and all these.
No.
Cars
These are the cars that they bought.
Yeah, repairs. That looks familiar.
So it's the corner of Main and what?
49th and C.
49th and C. In Bayonne. So and they use the little cars to go back and forth. So they built the whole set that way. This is Bayonne in Bayonne, New Jersey. They just run cars.
My ass.
My first 1-bedroom apartment. God, I guess I'm aging myself. Avenue C. It was nice back there. $650 for a 1-bedroom. What is it? What would it be now?
I have no idea.
1650.
Yeah.
1600.
Right. I guess it was about 24, 25 then.
Yeah. So, but she's been exported now, and now she's being held captive in Texas.
But wait, 49th and what though?
Me?
Yeah, 49th and what?
No, I was Avenue C, and I don't remember the cross.
Yeah, Avenue C is pretty long, I bet.
I don't remember the cross. Because that's all the way in the back.
This is Avenue C, right?
Yeah, Avenue C and 49th. Yeah.
Oh, my God. I can tell you. It's that build. I have a picture of it somewhere. It's just that brick building.
Tell me it's that. Oh, the brick building. This one right here.
Yeah. Brick. It was a gem in there.
It's probably
and then the water's back. What's the main road behind there? I forget where all the bridges are. I forget.
Is that building right there? Is that yours?
See, these are actual
no,
pictures.
No, because it had the black front. Well, it might not be black anymore. Door in the middle, 3 floors.
So, they're just surprised that there's somebody from Bayonne, New
We're
Jersey.
in the middle of 3 floors, right here, Lefty. These things. This is it. That's your building. This is your building.
Yo, I think her room was where Honeybee's
And I think
bathroom
your
is.
yeah, I think we have your bathroom here too.
Yeah,
I think
Your
this is your
bathroom.
Yeah, this is actually your building right here.
yeah. We have a bathroom in it.
We made a
I
bathroom.
wonder how the neighborhood is there now.
Huh?
How's the neighborhood
How's
now?
the house? Speak up, baby.
Oh, it's better.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
It's better now.
I'm sure it's like $1 billion to live on Avenue C.
Yeah, except for they painted Herbie's.
Yeah, we didn't like when they painted Herbie's.
I don't even know what that is.
That's the
Auto body.
That's the auto body place.
Oh, gotcha.
I like it like this.
Yeah, they painted it blue.
Yeah, so they painted it. So this is a set that's been in man, we've been working on this set for a while. This thing's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, it's been constantly expanding.
Yeah, this is nuts.
We took this to a council meeting.
And set it up. So this is what happens to me every day. All right, babe.
But my last day in New Jersey was at the city hall getting a copy of my birth certificate in Bayonne. Yeah, literally.
Wow.
That's where we went for the music where we
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have
And
Y'all
then
were
they have the courtyard. They have a little fountain in front. I remember.
yeah.
And I can't remember what's the hot dog place. That was the best place.
Oh, we smoked out of that hot dog.
Petritas
It might be, but back when I remember it, it was.
or Benny's?
Oh, I don't remember.
Petritas is on 25th by McDonald's.
That's it. That's the one.
Yeah.
Is that where we smoked the hot dog?
McDonald's was right there, and I used to get my hair cut at John Michael's across the street. I gotta go, man.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Weird nose, right?
Bye.
Is that where we smoked the hot dog out of, Lefty?
They
Told
moved.
Told you I was.
so funny.
Come on up, let's go.
It's
Oh wow! And I guarantee that's her room. That's her room.
The way she described it with the black doors like
Yeah,
that,
That's her room.
and the windows.
That's her room.
yeah, she just has her memory is a little faded because it's been a while since she's been back there.
Hot dog place right next to McDonald's.
Did you hear her screaming from the other room? That's funny. And that's just what I mean. It is what it is, but you know, God love her because I did not meet her. I did not meet her in New Jersey. I met her out in California, and
Crazy.
you know,
Wow.
It's crazy. The
Wait,
Bayonne-
what?
Yeah.
Wait,
No, the first time he
that's
said it hits
crazy.
you the same way that just hits you again.
Oh, you
right,
wait.
okay,
just nuts.
she's what I call a
You're in
journeyman.
Texas.
Yeah, I'm in.
Makes
Well, now
sense.
I'm in Texas now, but I lived in Huntington Beach. That's why my kids became surfers and national champions and all that stuff. But when California started going down, about when I got diagnosed with MS in 2016, and I met her. I got diagnosed. It was 4/24/2016. So 4 days after 4/20 in 2016, I got diagnosed with MS. So I went into the hospital. I met her 3 weeks prior to that, 3 or 4 weeks prior to that. So we had a small courtship before I ended up in the hospital. And then once I was put into the hospital, she didn't leave my side because that's the kind of girls that are in Bayonne, New Jersey. Some of them are just like, they're diehards, you know what I'm saying? If you meet the right one, they're going to be with you for life, and you're just not going to be able to we're not married. We're not going to get married, but she's my ride or die. She's going to be my partner for the rest of my life. And she's been through a ton of shit with me and with her, and her and I have both been through a lot of loss and a lot of shit. And just, you know, so at this point, you know, I keep telling her, like, she's been wanting to, I want to move to New Smyrna Beach, Florida. And then like last week, that dream just got destroyed because I told her, I can't go to Florida. I don't have a diving bell and scuba tanks, you know, because I'll be stuck in my chair, electric wheelchair. Well, the first thing that'll happen after 6 inches of water is it'll short out. Bong Holio and El Rampador, me and El Ramp. First thing that's going to happen to us is we're going to short out. And then somebody's going to have to take a huge diving bell and put it over the top of me. And then I'm going to have to trail the tanks up about 12 feet. And somebody's going to have to be switching out my scuba tanks now.
Yeah, you seen some of the footage there in Florida?
Oh,
Disaster.
Oh my God, bro. I was watching it.
Crazy.
I started watching it and watching. There's a podcaster, or not a podcaster, a YouTuber named Juke Sport out of Florida. And he lives on the east coast of it. I think he lives just north, maybe just north or just south of Tampa. I can't remember really where he is. but he started following it and doing live updates as soon as it crossed Cuba and got into the Gulf, and then turned into went from 2, 3, 4, and by the time it hit a 5, and then when it took that right turn and hit Fort Myers. Yeah, I followed that big time because I needed to know that stuff so I could show to her, this is the reason why we're up at 4,000 feet elevation, is because I'm a handicapped person. Because I can guarantee you, of the 26 people that are dead now from that storm, how many of them were in wheelchairs? How many of them drowned and because the storm surge came in?
Sure.
So, but no, I've been trying to get her to get in that's why I'm fixing up my minivan, getting it all ready to go, brand new tires, brand new this, all that stuff, is because I want to go see your family in New Jersey. I got family out there now. I got people I need to go see. What are we waiting for? I know it's a very dense place and it's not very fun sometimes, and it's super expensive and people can be real shitheads. But within those groups of shitheads, there's a bunch of little diamonds hanging out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So hopefully,
I look forward to the day that you come to Jersey, Lance.
Dude, it's gonna be
It's gonna be epic.
It's gonna be epic because I know we're gonna do like
raise hell.
We're totally gonna raise hell because it's gonna be like Bong Holio and his cousin Lance Holio, from Texas. Here's Bong Holio's redneck cousin from fucking Texas.
And we're not gonna know how to reel it back.
We're not gonna be able to. First of all, there's no putting it back in the box, and that's what I told Diana. I was like, there's no putting Bong Holio back in the box because Bong Holio is looking for his equal, which is a female Bong, and and everybody that I've known, from my sons to their friends, they all have the big Bong, and that's Bong Holio, and then they have another little small Bong, and then everybody has little baby Bongs. You have Bong collections and stuff, and so to go in and you use this creativity that you've done, Mike, and you're pushing on that hypothalamus of people like Diana, and you're squeezing that thing. Is like, you need to understand.
I'll squeeze her hypothalamus all day.
Right. But it sucks because think about growing up behind the Iron Curtain. Just think about that for a minute, Mike.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Where you're standing in line for fucking toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
For hours, and they're queuing up right now. They've been queuing up since the war started, and I'm very empathetic towards Diana and what's going on in Ukraine because that's her home country. I couldn't imagine if some Red Dawn situation happened and the Russians start rolling across our southern border, or the Chinese decide they wanted to lob a missile over here. I just couldn't imagine it. I just can't. I can't even fathom it.
I think she's pretty much told me every reason why she doesn't like the Bong or the baby. But what other reasons was she mentioning that she thought were no good about it?
She just doesn't think we need to be bringing children into it. I was like, why not? And then I go, why not? Just because you haven't turned your kids onto the cannabinoid system. I don't know about you. I told her, I was like, I don't know about you, but I'm in the business of making engineers.
Yeah,
I'm in the business of making professional surfers, and how I got there and how my kids got there 20 years later is there was forethought the minute my chick came to me and said I'm pregnant, and we went to the OBGYN and we got the confirmation. There's baby A and baby B. We came home and I was like, okay, this is how this is going to work. You're going to quit smoking cigarettes. You're going to quit drinking alcohol. And the only thing you're allowed to do from this point forward is eat and smoke cannabis. That's it. If I find out that you have anything in your system, which you're going to get tested every time we go to the OBGYN, you're done. And that's how you do that.
Come on.
Come back in and lay down, Bubba. Just up on the bed.
I got some pretty cool art pieces that I'm working on that are going to be finished.
Boston thing.
Stay tuned for that.
My prized possession.
Here, Lance, stay on the phone with us. We're going to let's call PayPal. I want to thank PayPal for the $3,000 you just
Thanks
gave us.
for calling PayPal.
Oh, shit,
This call,
loud.
including conversations with you or another person, may be recorded or monitored for quality or security purposes.
Para español, marque asterisco.
Fucking PayPal. I saw that letter. That was awesome.
We have to call someone here.
The number you're calling from matches our records.
We have to call someone here. I wanted to wait until we were on the podcast.
So I got a text from someone the other day.
Okay.
That said hi. So I didn't know who it
Oh,
was.
okay. Let's
Yeah,
call him.
So
Yeah,
hi.
just send me the number, just and I'll call over here.
650.
Oh no, don't say it.
No, don't say the number,
Why?
dude. Because
Don't
people
say
they'll start crank
Give
calling
it to
from
me.
freaking just slide
Just
it,
let me
put
know.
it,
Just
put it on the McLaren and shoot it over to him. Don't be doxing somebody's phone number.
Read the text, right? And then call this
It
number.
might be someone you like.
I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll read it. Read it. I never met this person.
Okay, let's call them up and see who
Call
they
them
are.
up.
Well, dude, Mike, you're famous now. You don't understand. Bongholio is everywhere. It's not just in New Jersey.
Yeah, no, I hear that, and
We need to make a bong mobile and go on tour. Is where I'm talking about.
I've
This
had a
is
lot
something-
of
Once more,
a lot of people
briefly
mention
tell me
shit
what
like
you're
that.
calling about, or say, "What are my choices?"
What are my choices?
You have none.
Sure, you can say change account info, password and security issues, payment status,
That's the number?
or claims and disputes. Or in a couple of words, what are you calling about?
I want to thank Steve from the back office for giving us our $3,000. So how do I word that in a short, concise sentence without confusing you? I don't know.
Well, I'm confused about who Steve is.
There's no last name.
That sucks, man.
Yo,
That
but
sucks.
shout out to our boy Steve in the back room
Yeah.
for being
And then
You're calling about auto sweep, right?
No, Steven.
No, I'm calling about Steven from the back room, from the back office. Apparently, he gave us $3,000, and I think there's more.
Sorry,
What?
I still didn't get.
Steve.
I seem to be having some trouble.
You can also.
For quality purposes, this call may be monitored and or
Hell?
recorded.
All right, so we can't talk while they're talking, or else we're not going
Or
to hear
if
them.
you're on the app, tap the settings
All
icon.
right, I muted us.
So white beaters and more white beaters.
Hello?
Hi, thank you for calling PayPal. My name is Dad.
Hi.
This call may be monitored.
Are you recording too? Okay, we're all recording each other. Okay. Who
do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
My name's Lefty, and I'd like to see if I could speak to Steve from the back office.
Are you looking for like a supervisor?
His name was Steve. All I know is his name is Steve. That's what he wrote on the paper, and he's in the back office. Does that sound like anything that is anything?
No, honestly.
All right.
But
I want to thank him because they gave us $3,000. Steve gave us $3,000, literally.
Okay.
We want to thank him for giving us the $3,000, and I just I don't know how to do that.
Well, we don't know who
We don't
he
know
is.
we don't even know who Steve is. He's in the back office, and apparently he gave us our money back.
Which is great.
We're happy. We're very happy.
Very happy.
We're not unhappy at all. Yeah, no,
really happy.
This is a
about
good
all
phone
this.
call.
You know, it's been a long journey, but Steve really came through.
Well, awesome.
That's what we said. Yeah. We're like,
So,
that's a bro.
How do we find out who Steve is in the back office to thank him?
I'm not sure, but it's really hard for us to transfer you to a direct person because the calls are taken basically. They're accepted on who's available.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You don't know of a Steve?
Yeah. There's any Steves there at all?
No, I don't know a Steve, unfortunately.
Oh, man, this is a mystery.
He spells it with a V.
Yeah, it's Steve.
No, I don't know a Steve.
Man, well, I want to thank him.
Well, he's a real stand-up guy.
Yeah,
we would just like to reach out to Steve and just let him know that, took care of us, gave us the money.
Yeah, and maybe there's some more, and maybe there's some more.
Yeah, we were just thinking maybe if you rejolt the juice,
maybe
of the account. Like if you just rejolt the juice, just to see, what any blips.
Can you give us some money? Do you have any money to give us?
And I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
My name is Jasmine.
Jasmine. She's not in the back office apparently. The back office is where they have all the money apparently.
and no last name.
Yeah. Does anyone have a last name there?
You have a last name. We don't need to know, but do you have a last name,
have
Jasmine?
one, right?
We all have last names.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Steve didn't give his, and nobody without a last name ever gave me money before. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was wild because it was like, man, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Right? Shouts out to Steve.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Jasmine, you've been kind of helpful, I think, and I guess we'll call back. Is there? There's no way
problem.
to.
Is there anybody next to you, like at shoulder length, that knows who Steve is that you could just maybe ask? Maybe they're on another call, and you could just ask them to just hold on a moment and ask them if they know of a Steve in the back room.
Well, what is the back room if you don't know the actual department?
Well, the back office.
10 times harder.
They call it the back office, I guess. The back office.
No, we don't. We have a name for every department. Even if he was the chairman, there will, we'll know exactly. So when you say the back office, that doesn't help find Steve.
Oh. It was risk management, probably.
He said back room.
He did have a title.
Title?
He had a title of like a job. So it was like risk management or something like that. A compliance officer, maybe. I don't know.
Well, Steve got the loot to give it back.
Yeah, we like Steve. We're very happy because I've been asking for a long time for that money.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you guys get a survey on Steve, make sure you give him an all 10.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, I'd like to fill out a survey.
Yeah, send us a survey.
Want to make sure it goes to the right Steve.
Yeah,
The surveys are random, so if they're going to come to you, you'll get a call, but not every customer get a survey.
Right.
Okay. I hope to get one. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Send one out, please.
Well, thank you guys for choosing PayPal. You have a great night, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, and
too.
Steve. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you and Steve. Thank you.
Right on.
Right on.
You.
That's good stuff. All right.
We
Call that number.
Yeah. Hey, you need to put a banner in the back on the wall up there. Shout out to Steve from PayPal. Just on the back over there with the step of the wall. We need to make another banner back there.
Shout out to Steve with PayPal.
Shout out to Steve. Hey, Steve at paypal.com. Call us. Thank you, Steve.
At the back room.
They're such a huge organization. PayPal is so huge. They don't know. There's probably 1 million Steves there. May not even be his name.
Yo, honestly, there has to be at least 100 Steves working at PayPal.
At least, minimum.
At least.
At least. It's so hilarious. So hilarious. And then she's doing the greatest customer service right there.
I know, she was fabulous.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
How you doing? This is for Elena. We met at the Trump National.
Whoa! What's on? Wow! Wow! Is
it now the official ring?
Wow! This is it.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah. Apparently, this girl's name's Elena.
This is a blind date.
And she's not going to answer. Of course not.
I'll leave a message.
The Google subscriber you have called is not available. Please leave a message after the tone.
Perfect.
How you doing? This message is for Elena. I'm sure you remember me. We met at the Trump National Golf Club in Los Angeles over the weekend. If you'd like to give me a call back, I'd like to take you out to dinner. I'd like to get to know you a little bit better. And, we had a great weekend, so I just thought maybe we could have a great time again. So reach out, 732-644-0259. And let's go golfing again.
She sounds like a nice girl.
What sounds nice about it? The E or the?
Her name sounds nice. I like her name.
It doesn't feel like anything. Elena.
Well, I mean, you met her at a golf outing, so she likes to.
Did you hang up, or are you still leaving a message?
No, we're still leaving a message.
Still on the line.
We're leaving a message.
Oh my gosh!
It says This is what she said. We met at Trump National Golf Club in Los Angeles over the weekend. Do you remember?
What were you doing at the Trump National Golf Club?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. I usually go there in Bedminster, to the one in Bedminster.
Yeah, Los Angeles.
That's where I go.
And then she said, I'm Elena. I was like, who is this?
Or Bernardsville. I'm sorry, it's Bernardsville. I don't know. The one in Jersey.
Hey, did y'all hear about that? What the AG did? New York AG banning the whole Trump, or indicting the whole Trump family and trying to kick them out of New York. They can't do any business now in the state of New York.
Yeah, that won't last long.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. They're just trying to prevent him from running in 2024. That's just ridiculous.
Okay, try one more, Lefty.
Okay, well, we're still on leaving a message, so I don't want to hang up.
Oh,
yet.
we're still leaving a message?
I don't want to be rude and hang up.
No, I don't want to do that.
No. So you can call back. We're actually live on our podcast. You can call back 908-616-0682, 908-616-0682. We're doing a live podcast here from New Jersey. Right?
Yeah, I remember the golf outing. I remember.
So, yeah, right on. Give us a call here on the podcast.
Yeah, I have a very interesting text here. Another interesting.
Can I call that one too?
Yeah, we're gonna have to call this one. Should I read the text?
How long do you get on this Google iPhone?
Probably a while.
You get like 10 minutes of message?
Probably.
She's gonna have to sit through 10 minutes of this,
unless she just immediately erases it. But I'm sure she'd be intrigued to continue.
I'm kind of interested to see how long this goes.
Yeah, no shit. I'm waiting for the beep to go off.
Yeah,
I can call on my phone. I can call this one on my phone.
Let me lose our good audio though. I like the
Oh
audio.
yeah. Okay, let me read you the text. I can still read the text while we're still reading the message. Okay. So I got this text, right? And this is what it says. Hey, it's Madison McFerrin from a new number. I'm trying out a new way to share music and updates with fans without the algorithm interfering. Be sure to save this contact.
There went. It hung up.
Okay.
It finally hung up.
I can only post updates here, but as a day one fan, you'll still have access to message me on the other line. Thank you so much for your support. And be sure to check out my new single, Stay Away From Me, when it drops next Wednesday. XOXO Madison. So I have no idea who this is or what the hell's going on. So call that number up.
All right.
And see if Madison answers.
While I'm doing this, can we set the street up again for another shot?
Sure.
We didn't have the green screen set up when you had the bong on before. So we can't even use that ever. It was awful. There was no green screen. All right, here we go.
See if she answers.
Okay, so this is fun. Oh, these are fun. All right.
You get a kick out.
Wow. This is great.
Lefty loves these.
213-561-6. You got to tell them they're on the air.
I don't even know if it's going to be a person or if it's going to be a machine.
Yeah.
The number you dialed is not in service.
Dude,
please check the number and dial again. Or dial 611 for customer assistance.
You got scammed.
DC 202 MD 53.
You got scammed.
What the hell?
You got scammed.
Madison McFerrin.
Sheep dip. What a bunch of sheep dip. Oh, so Harvest Fest is tomorrow.
You're going to be a busy man. It starts on a Friday.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to go Saturday.
Where's it being held?
At the fairgrounds in New York. Way upstate New York, man.
Upstate New York. So you're going up into the beauty lands.
Yeah.
You're going up into... Yeah, I had a bunch of friends when I was at the University of Arizona that were from upstate New York because they came in from... the heck was that university that they... Clemson. They came from Clemson, and a couple of them... even though Clemson is down south, they all migrated down south, but they all came from upstate New York. And he says, don't negate New York City, man, because New York City is the New York proper is pretty crappy. But once you go north of New York City up in upstate New York, it becomes an absolute heaven up there and beauty. See, he used to tell me this. Yeah, that's where all the hippies and all the good people live up in upstate New York.
They were growing a lot of weed when we were up there.
Well, they are now, for sure. They were doing it before. I'm not saying they weren't doing it before, but now they're just going to be doing it openly.
Oh, here we go.
Everybody's going to be doing it openly.
All right, Bongholio. I didn't set the shot up. Hold on. All right, Lance, do a play-by-play for us because
it's
oh my God.
All right, everybody. We're about to go street level. We don't have a high-speed chase, but we definitely have plenty of accidents on Avenue C and 45th. Oh, look at Bongholio. dude, it's so hard for you to get into that thing. I can't believe that once you're in, bro.
Where's the camera?
You had it on what is it? Was it in front of you? I thought it was in front of you.
Here it is.
Okay, there it is. That's hilarious. You got so many spaghetti wires right there. All right, everybody, coming to the show is Bongholio.
We need another hair tie here. We need another hair tie.
Right. For people like you and I, for you and I, Lefty, we have to be creative on how we put our hair back.
We need 2 hair ties for this.
Now we're going to go street level. Yeah, I'm really trying really hard for her to, because I don't think her family is going to be able to make it to Florida this summer. So I'm trying to get her when we do a little vacation just to start heading east. Did you see my post, Lefty, of the farm off of Facebook? I think it was Facebook. I went out to the 160 acres.
Yes.
Did you see that? I was out there sitting with the dog, and then you could see my sister into that pictures. That is I'm starting the process of getting power. We're going to work on the windmill and get all the water and stuff going. That's probably, I want to say we are about 30 miles, 30 or 40. When you're on the hill of my property and overlooking the hill, it drops off in about 15 to 20, maybe 30 miles is the Oklahoma border. So just over that border is where everybody's growing copious amounts of weed. And so I'm preparing this property for us when it's not deer season, because that's what we're doing right now. We're preparing it for deer season because that starts up in November. And we're going to get a power pole out there and get power run out there. And once we get power out there, we're going to have get the well going. So we have fresh water and stuff out there. And then at that point, whenever my brother-in-law is not shooting the 12-point and 10-point deer that are running out there right now, I'm going to be parking my ass out there because it's very difficult to get to. It's not just like off the main road. You got to take this county road and that county road and take a turn here and a turn there. And pretty soon you come up to a gate that says do not enter because it's oil property. And then I go through the gate and catty corner to the right. There I am. And we were out in really thick stuff, man. We were in a 4-wheel drive vehicle and the grasses were up to the mirrors. So, and we were just kind of out there, just kind of moping around in 4-wheel low. Made it back to where the old homestead was, and they have a 4x4 an 8x8 adobe wall that's about 4 feet tall. And we're going to turn that into a Roman hot tub. It's going to be awesome. Dude, it looks like we had a crash. Bongholio fell out the back of the ambulance. There's Bongholio. He's okay. Wow, it's so cool that the stripes go with your pot down the middle of the street.
Yeah, that's neat.
We need to get an ambulance, man. Paint that bitch green. The Bongholio. That's how we'll travel the country in an old ambulance like they did in what was that? Cannonball Run. They had a souped up ambulance that they were going across the country in. That'll be the traveling bandwagon right there. That's how we'll do it. We'll do it in the back of the ambulance, and then Bongholio fell out the back. Yeah, he crouches down. You can see it. The purple shows up really well, Mike. You look like a big, huge Bilbo. You look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I'm like, hey, there I am. Oh my God.
Can you see Jeff in that one? Put Jeff in the proper spot. Because if Jeff's on the shot, we have to have Jeff in the shot. And your sneakers. Well, sneakers aren't in there, but
Sneakers are hanging up on the power line. I can't see that.
you can't see them. But we want to have Jeff in the shot.
I can. You have the ambulance. I'm like right at street level across the street. I'm looking at that 49 something Chevy or something in your XJ, your 04 XJ or whatever the heck that is. Yeah, we need to find an ambulance. That would be the greatest thing to have is an old ambulance that we could fix up because it'd be perfect. It'd be perfect.
Ride around in an ambulance taking psychedelics.
Shit. Yeah, and that's a whole other thing. It's like the psychedelic movement in this country is having a way easier time. There he is with the mic piece. It's a big old smile. Oh my god.
Yeah, like what you were saying before about the Biden and the pardon and this and that. At the rate that everything's going, they're going to legalize LSD before they do this with weed.
Yeah, no shit. And then that'll be fun. I'll go down to my local store and buy me a couple of tabs and sit around and watch the walls melt all day. I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
Imagine all the creative ways to package it.
Shoot, when we were back in the what year was that when I started? I did my first tab of acid when I was a freshman in high school. So that would have been like maybe 86, 87, maybe 85. I can't remember. Yeah, probably about when I was 14, 15. I was a freshman and I did my first. I even remember what it was. It was blotter called Red Star. And they could never get rid of that in our high school because we could hide it so well. We could your history book that you have that's 700 pages. We used to exchange books all the time, and within the book on page whatever it was, we'd put a couple of tabs of acid, or we were buying books back then for I think $150 a sheet. So you're getting a book for like $1,500. Those were Leonard Pickard days. That was prior before the Lizard Girl and Leonard Pickard.
And like, what did a hit cost on average? Like in the early '80s, like $5 a hit, or
we were paying. I was paying because a sheet was costing you $150. That's 100 hits. It was costing us $1.50.
Ooh,
$1.50, bro.
Easy. Because I remember when first time I did acid, I was like maybe 13, 14, and that was in like 94. Is that right? 95ish. And they were like $5 a hit at the time.
Wow. Well, no, and that's typically what it was, because if coming out of California with the hippie, it was the they called them the hippie mafia, but it's the same people that busted out Timothy Leary and stuff. They had it calculated out of how much you should be charging per hit. And they weren't charged. They didn't want you to charge more than $5 unless it was triple dipped. Mike, that's so funny. Can't take it. I can't take it. You look like a billboard.
Hey.
What?
How do you spell charcuterie?
I have no idea how to spell charcuterie.
Like, I'm making a board right now. How do you spell it?
I have no idea. You're gonna have to Google charcuterie.
I'm gonna have to Google. It doesn't have autocorrect. God damn it.
I don't understand how to spell that. That's beyond my my level of education.
Yeah, I don't even think I can pronounce it.
I'm having a hard time when she said it. What are you, char? So char would be CHR, and then shootery, which would be CHS. Oh my God, let me look on my phone.
I'm such a dumbass. I can't even Google to get the right words.
I'll figure it out, and then I'll yell it out.
Cheese, meat,
Or shark could be S.
Charcuterie. Hold on, I'll get it and figure it out. This is the failure of the educational system of New Jersey.
That's a hard word for anybody.
I keep telling her, what high school did you go to?
No. It's charcuterie. And that makes sense.
Did you find it or
if
no?
I text that to a Texan, they're never going to know. So I might as well give up.
It's kind of cool, though.
Let me see what happened there, but it looks like it turned.
It did. It just turned.
It did. Let's see. Charcuterie. Oh, charcuterie.
Oh, it's hitting the bump.
It's actually turning how I want it to.
You might get some cool shots just with however it winds up being.
Oh, here it is.
I got it.
CharCuterie. There's the word for the day, fellas, for the sativa cross. Charcuterie. It's a platter of cheeses and stuff. It's in the food. It's in the food.
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie. Use that in a sentence. It's the please bring me my charcuterie, and it's food.
I've never heard that word before.
Okay, it's where here I can do it. It's charcuterie is where when you do pairings with specialty meats and crackers and cheese and stuff like that. So it's a board or whatever board pairing. So you put it on a cutting board and you have different types of meats and your pairings of your types of meats with charcuterie. There it is. I can use it. See, it's a French word. It's not even charcuterie. What does it literally mean? It says, charcuterie is a specific term with origins reaching far back as the 15th century France. Literally translated, it means the products of a fancy pork butcher. Modern charcuterie does not often include pork, but the definition has widened to reflect a dish served throughout many cultures.
Oh.
Whatever. If it doesn't involve cannabis, I don't want to eat it. At this point.
Are we done with shots?
No, I'm gonna come make a left turn now.
I'm gonna come make a left turn. Yeah, poor Diana, man. I couldn't imagine living in that closed-minded society because then it makes your brain become closed-minded. Even as an adult, you become closed-minded. What's up? You look like a billboard. when it takes that left turn, you look.
Yeah, I love Diana, but she is a little closed-minded though.
Oh, it's
understandably.
Understandably, completely, man, because of the fact she was raised behind the iron curtain. And I told her that, and I was like, "Well, welcome to the party." And I always say this to her, and I was like, "I value your opinion. That's why I talk to you. If I didn't value your opinion, I just feel like you need to." And I told her about her kids as well. It's like, if you honestly think that your kids don't know about weed and the benefits of weed because of who you are and what's going on, you're fooling yourself. And
she told me she didn't like it, because of the optics with the kids, and as a mother, it wasn't something that she liked, and this and that. And I told her straight up, it sounds like another "what about the children" argument. You still have to parent your children. You're not going to get away from it.
No, and you have to. And the thing is like, if you don't want to be an issue with your kids, you should have started that education whenever they were fetuses. And you could do it very easily. And I told her this: go to your local health food market and buy a bunch of hemp hearts, or buy that Natural Valley's hemp cereal or whatever, and just start stocking your house with hemp and hemp-based products that have the CBDs and all that stuff in it that doesn't get you high. And then your kid, it'll be right there. My kids are cannabis kids. I wasn't feeding them Delta 8 and Delta 9 freaking weed and puffing on a joint and blowing it in their faces. No, I made sure, because the mother processes cannabis in a different way. It's still the endocannabinoid system. It's a big billboard. That's our goal. We need a Bongholio billboard in Bayonne, New Jersey now. We need it to be that big. It needs to be almost like a Goodyear blimp, just kind of blowing up. You just come around the corner and you just kind of just the bong.
Or do like the Steve-O billboard. Remember, he actually went up on the billboard
and they taped him.
Yeah,
and they taped him. Oh my God! There's just so much we can do with this, fellas. It's like a gold mine. And that's what I was trying to explain to Diana is like, you understand there's a little bit of irony going on here, because you can't talk about Bongholio without talking about Mrs. Bongholio and then baby Bongholio. You're like, at some point there was an interaction between Bongholio and a female that had a baby bong.
Right.
And at that point, How are they going to deal with this? Because mini Bongholio or baby Bongholio, he's the most discriminated baby in the country.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everybody
Wait till you see this the new art project. Some people are gonna the same kind of people will probably be upset.
Well, but then it shows. Oh, you can only be 8. That's where these laws that are being written now and legalization. Legalization is only going to happen for anybody 18 and up or 21 and up, depending on which state you're in. So you're going to tell me that there's going to be a whole segment of people that could benefit from the endocannabinoid system that are under the age of 21 years old, starting at conception, and this goes along with the abortion argument. At what point do you consider this a human being? Well, with me, it starts at conception. And when that baby started developing from 2 cells to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32 cells, once it starts doing that, at some point along the line, the endocannabinoid system kicks in. And you're going to need that endocannabinoid system. So when the baby's born, that system does what? It stimulates the sucking response. That's why you get your endocannabinoid system starts off as soon as you light a joint and stick it to your mouth and you start sucking on it. That's how we knew how to breastfeed when we were babies, is because you have that sucking response that's all linked to the cannabinoid system. And my kids were 4 pounds. They were 4 pounds apiece. See, she only had 8 pound of baby. So they were premature. And they were released out of the hospital 3 days later because they were doing what? They were latching on and they were breastfeeding at 4 pounds. How did that happen? They had a very vigorous, and even to this day, Javon still has a vigorous endocannabinoid system. And it becomes something that, how do you maintain being a normal individual? How do you not be so crazy? Well, the world has gone crazy now. We can see that. We can all see that. And it's all because you're not dealing with your internal biochemistry that you need to start thinking about, especially if you have children, people. If you have children, this is something that needs to be discussed with every pregnant woman that gets pregnant, and they need to know that the cannabis movement supports them for smoking while they're pregnant to keep their blood pressure down, to invigorate that very critical endocannabinoid system, so you can have a healthy, happy, stress-free baby.
I've thoroughly enjoyed being able to do all the artwork with all the activism. It's been really, really, really like fun and rewarding. And I've always
very cathartic for you, because you've been through some shit, Mike. I want to understand that you've been through some shit and you've been abused by a system that you should have probably already slit your wrist or hung yourself from the rafters. And at some point you chose not to do that. You chose life, and you've turned yourself around, and you've now funneled that into a way that speaks truth to what you've gone through.
Yeah, I said it on someone's post. I forget who it was last night, but there was a post about something about how people always pretend to be happy but not depressed. And I commented on it about, saying how I enjoy making people smile and people laugh because it's a coping mechanism for all the trauma that one experiences through their journey, And when you're laughing and you're creating that moment and you're sharing a laugh and a smile with someone, it's you're not worrying about the pain, but yeah, there's a lot of pain and depth to all that underneath all that, People use humor as a coping mechanism for trauma.
Prime example, there was an interview that Pete Davidson did, and someone asked him, "Are you depressed?" And he's like, every day I'm depressed. I get up every day. I'm depressed every day. It's a battle that I have, but I can't do it because I have a mom and I have a sister. So those are just thoughts. As soon as I roll out of bed and I wake up, I have these depressing thoughts, and that to him motivates him because he doesn't want to go down that route because he knows how dark that pathway is. So now you have one of our top comedians in the country dealing with all kinds of bullshit.
Yeah, I've never even at my darkest times, I've never really ever have been suicidal, but I've always definitely always used humor And I
Yeah.
realize that more and more as I look back on my journey and I think about these kinds of things.
Well, because it triggers endorphins in your body. Laughter triggers endorphins.
It's a way to make yourself to feel comfortable in what otherwise would be an uncomfortable scenario or situation.
Yeah, they say a lot of people that are, when they're faced with death, they all start they start laughing and they start like giggling and stuff like that. It's called gallows humor, is because your body's coping mechanism is to make you happy and to be dealing with the outside stresses. So humor, comedy, laughing in the face of danger and things like that is because it's a coping mechanism to prevent you from freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same thing that like Robin Williams, Chris Farley, same kind of thing. That
Robin Williams was mentally ill. He had when he died, they took his brain, they cut it open, and they looked at and I don't know what disease it was that he had, but he knew he had it the whole time, and how he dealt with it was through his comedy. Same with Chris Farley. Same with any of these struggling, what we consider perfect people, but nobody knew the internal struggle that if I knew that Robin Williams was that sick, I would have been trying to do everything in my power to get to him when everybody else had forgotten about him. And whenever he was, because that's how it is out in Hollywood. Most people think in Hollywood, these stars have just like uber friends. No, the majority of those people go home alone, and they sit in their apartments or they sit in their mega mansions and they're all by themselves. They can't trust anybody around them because they're going to use their notoriety to get something or want something from them. But a majority of them they're depressed, and they're depressed all the time. So that's where somebody like Chris Farley, who was Jim Belushi John Belushi was the same way, using substances to make himself feel better so he can make everybody else laugh. And then it became toxic for John Belushi, and even for Chris Farley,
you notice a lot of comedians are either divorced, alcoholics. They're very miserable people in real life. Comedians.
Yeah. And I'm a huge fan of Joe Rogan and Brian Redband and Tony Hinchcliffe and Tom Segura and Christina P, the new ages of comics right now. But you have to understand, below the surface, they're probably extremely miserable people because the only thing that makes them happy is making money now. And for me, I mean, it's great. $1 million would change my life, but will it make me happy? No. $10 million will change my life. Will it make me happy? No. Because you see it all the time. You see it all the time. You got these people, and then all of a sudden they're heroin addicts, or they're slitting their wrists, or they're just, and it's very depressing to think that somebody that has it all throws it all away over something like that. And I've had many friends that have OD'd on whatever substance, and I've gotten to them and tried to say to them, hey, do you just need a hug? What's going on? Do you need a hug? Do you just need to laugh? Do you need to watch something funny? How do I need to make you feel better about the situation? Because I've been down. I've been homeless. I've lived in my car. I've been to jail. I've had my whole crops destroyed by cops. I've had many, 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 many reasons to freaking blow my head off. But what does that do when you do something like that? Think about your family. Think about the destruction that you do to just your family alone. Think about the mess you leave behind for the person to come in after the cops leave that has to clean up your apartment or your house. Look at the mess that Ann Hesh left. Look at the mess right now that's going on with that. They're fighting over her will and stuff between the stepfather that has no right to her money and her son. I mean, all over what? She made a fucking mistake. She got drunk at a podcast, did a bunch of coke, and drove her car through her house. And now look at the mess that she's created for not only the person that she drove through the house, but all the firefighters and all the people that were there and everybody that had to come out and all this stuff. So it's a very selfish thing. So at some point, don't do it. Just don't do it. Reach out to people. There's a nationwide suicide prevention number and stuff like that. But if without that, stay away from things that are going to make you depressed. Smoke more weed. Your life will change. That's a simple simple equation that you can do. Because I can tell you right now, all I do is smoke weed, whether I have it or not, or I'm taking gummies or I'm doing this. And anytime that I do it, I've never had one evil thought, one suicidal thought, or one destructive thought every time I do that stuff.
I want to thank cmmnj.org, CannaSense, United Food and Commercial Workers, Local 152, JacksonStorms.com, Smoking Monkey, Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, and Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop. And you can donate to Sativa Cross at sativacross.org. Give us $1, give us $5, $10,
Yeah, anything will help.
Whatever.
Donate, please.
We need help getting ramps. We need help dressing
It's
Bongholio.
hard to raise funds. It is.
So
and we need to shout out to somebody at PayPal. We need to know anybody at PayPal that knows Steve. Get a hold of sativacross.org so we can send him a thank you basket.
Yeah, we need a thank you note to the OG Steve in the back room.
Yeah, whoever that guy was.
Made up name.
Our list begins with Cheryl Miller, Sabina Rose, Diane, Gracie, Cindy May, Marie, Jack, Joan, Randy, Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jaybird, Michael, Marley, Colette, Brandon, Red, Jeff, and today, Michelle lost her mom. So,
dude, it's just never ending.
Yeah, we'll put Regina on this list if she wants to be on the list. I'm just going to mention it today. But yeah, Michelle's going through it because she just lost her mom this morning from cancer. So prayers go out to Gina and the whole family.
Yeah.
So thanks, Lance. Appreciate it, bro.
Always a pleasure, Lance. We love you.
Pleasure, man.
Sorry I came in hot tonight. I just came in hot. I was just so mad.
We want you coming in with whatever energy you're ripping with.
Man, because I just don't want us to fall for the same, we just
we get it. You don't have to apologize for these things. We get it, man. This is why we do these things, so we can express ourselves to each other.
Yeah, and hey, that podcast you guys did from the park with those guys that came up. I don't know who those guys were. The rapper guy, and then the other guy that was running
Darius, John. That was crazy.
That was awesome, bro. I mean, just everybody was dabbing, and you guys were just like getting high, and then they were passing around that Dr. Dabber thing, and just shooting it into everybody's. And then, the dude dressed up like the cop, and I was just like, "This is so good. This is so good, man." And I was just like, the freedom that you guys are having right now was the stuff that I was going through in 1990. I was doing the same thing in 1994, 1995, and 1996. When I was out in Arizona, we were having events and on 420 and stuff, and we had our smoking tents and smoking openly out in public and stuff like that. So to see what you guys are doing now gives me hope that we're actually going to do this now. And if they do reclassify through the DEA is done. If they reclassify cannabis, they're not going to have a reason to be around anymore because the majority of the department's budget is dealing with cannabis and cannabis-related products. They're not going to have a budget at that point. So that's what I'm saying. I don't see the rescheduling efforts to be very fruitful. And that's why I keep saying we need a deregulation movement, people. #deregulate. We need to have
#Jeff's Law. #They shall grow.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Lance.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Let's end it here. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady in the glow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. Mikey?
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning,
we will remember them.